All right, guys, welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new. Thank you guys so much for being here and waiting patiently for the stream to start. Been a little confusion happening in the chat, understandably so. But yeah, we have some things to discuss once again today. It may seem like we're only discussing one topic. There are actually two topics. There are two topics we're going to be talking about. You're saying Big Turbo. You're saying we talk about the same thing every day. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of similarity between the topics we discuss and talk about. No doubt about that. There is some redundancy, no denying that. But I try my best to keep the conversation as fresh as I can. So hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully today you guys will find this conversation and this discussion interesting. The reality is, unfortunately, right now there's really nothing happening, and it's understandable why that is. There's literally nothing happening right now because Summer Game Fest is about to happen, and the Xbox show is about to happen, and so because of that, there's really just like no, like everything's at a kind of standstill. And so, either way, though, I do appreciate everybody who tunes into the streams. We have two topics that we're going to discuss today. The first topic, as you can see, is Xbox really going to do it? Are they really going to do it? I mean, really, are they going to do it? I feel like this is a conversation we should have, and the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because yesterday and every other time we've talked about it prior, I've been talking just from my perspective in that, like, Xbox, I think they're going to have a good show. Like, I think everything is lined up. But I've noticed in the time that I've been talking about it that a lot of you guys do not agree. There are a lot of people who do not agree. A lot of people just saying, like, dude, Xbox does not deserve the benefit of the doubt. They do not deserve the amount of hype and excitement that they're getting. And I find it interesting. It just kind of creates this duality to the conversation. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about whether or not Xbox is going to do it. And I won't lie to you, we're going to get a little bit cynical up in here. I know some people like that, but it's. I think it's necessary because the truth is I've been the past week and a half, at least I've been looking at Xbox from like the glass half full point of view. But I think it's only fair to also kind of acknowledge some of the potential pitfalls and just some of the realities that for some reason some people seem to forget about so quickly, which is fine. It's expected. But we're not just going to talk about that. We're going to talk about something Sony is doing as well. And I was thinking about I almost did lead this stream with this topic. And the reason I didn't is because I just kind of got this feeling like I don't know that this is going to be as relevant or interesting to people as I thought it would be. But it's still something worth discussing. And that is the fact that Sony is not buying into cloud gaming. Sony CEO straight up came out and they just were like, look, cloud gaming has a lot of issues, and it kind of went under the radar. But the reason why I think it's important, if you're a PlayStation fan, to acknowledge this is because it's a clear line in the sand, I guess you could say, a clear line drawn in the sand right now that pretty much confirms Sony has no intention of, well, certainly not abandoning PlayStation hardware. I don't think anybody would expect that, but certainly not sidelining PlayStation hardware. Like, we did get that comment from Jim Ryan where he said that they have some aggressive plans for cloud, which I have no doubt about that. But it's interesting that shortly after that, Sony comes out and is like, yeah, but cloud really isn't it's not really a thing right now. So I think that's good. I think anybody who is nervous about the cloud gaming future, I imagine Sony might be one of the last ones on board to kind of push for something like that. So yeah, we're gonna have this discussion today, guys. Before I dive into it, As always, if you want to support the channel, if you want to support what I do, there are a couple of ways you can do that. Number one, becoming a channel member. Huge shout out to everybody who supports this channel by becoming a member. Number two, gifting channel memberships. I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of people have continually gifted channel memberships, which is awesome to see. Number three, donating a super chat. I've also been getting consistent support through super chats as well. And so all of these things go a very long way in supporting what I do here and supporting the content, and it's very much appreciated. So if you feel so inclined, consider doing so. But as I always say, just simply being here, watching the content, engaging with it, and hitting that like button. Guys, everybody hit that like button. I think we could easily get to 100 likes. That would be greatly appreciated. And before I really dive into it here, I want to make sure everything is running smoothly as it should. Yeah, everything looks good. So let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about Xbox. The Xbox showcase is coming. I mean, this might be the last stream we do. This might be the last stream we do kind of talking about the showcase before it happens. It's actually happening on Sunday, which I wasn't actually aware of. So will I get a Foam Stars poster? Yeah, maybe I will, man. No, probably not. Probably not. I have no interest in Foam Stars. Also, apparently isn't Foam Stars is a PlayStation exclusive game. Totally missed that. Totally missed that. That is kind of surprising. So I guess that's a PlayStation exclusive banger that we secured, baby. Square Enix and Sony doing it again. Oh my god. I'm not entirely sure if Foam Stars is actually an exclusive, but I don't recall seeing it announced for anything else. So I think it might actually be a PlayStation exclusive. It might be, which is wild. Absolutely wild. But yeah, let's talk about this. So is Xbox really going to do it this time? Are they really going to, like, after all these years, after all of these mistakes that Microsoft has made pretty consistently, are they going to come out and finally deliver what it is that not just the fans, but I would argue just many people, generally speaking, have been asking them to do, expecting them to do? Are they suddenly going to show us a barrage of not just new games and new exclusives, but high quality exclusives, games that get people to really turn their heads and go, whoa, like that looks really good? Well, I told you guys yesterday and a couple times prior to that it seems to me that the bar is pretty low. I think the bar is pretty low. I won't lie. The bar for Microsoft to clear is low. However, where I have said that, yeah, I think this might be it, a lot of you guys have come out and you've told me, I don't think so, man. I don't think it's going to be that simple. Like, I don't think it's just like that, suddenly Microsoft doesn't suck anymore. And I got to admit, I haven't put much thought into this. I have been thinking to myself for pretty much since we moved on from the PlayStation Showcase to now looking ahead to Xbox's Showcase. I've been thinking to myself, oh, they got this in the bag. But I haven't really taken time to consider, but like, do they though? Like, how sure are you of that? Because I'll tell you right now, Xbox fans seem pretty damn sure. Xbox fans seem pretty damn sure that Xbox has this in the bag, and maybe they do. Domingo813, you're saying they said no CGI, but are they showing PC footage? Yeah, I actually did see quite a few people questioning that as well. That is one of the big problems that Xbox has faced in previous years, and even recently as this year in January. They will show off games and it's not actually running on an Xbox Series X. It's running on a PC that's supposed to match Xbox Series X specifications, which is really, really weird to me. I don't know why they do that. I guess maybe they do it because the development begins on the PC and then moves over to Xbox. I don't know entirely, but I gotta be honest. I do understand why so many people, especially yesterday and recently, were like, "Dude, how come you're just so you're so on board with this notion that Xbox is gonna have a great show, that they're just gonna have an A plus stellar show, and they're gonna come out and deliver." And I have to admit that I think that is a pretty foolish thing for me to a pretty foolish conclusion for me to jump to, because it is basically me like doing what a lot of other people are doing, which is we're just going to forget. We're just going to pretend that all of the things that Xbox has been screwing up for a while now, that they either haven't happened or they just aren't going to matter now. And that is, again, that's a possibility. We could see a situation where it happens and it just simply doesn't matter. Like, they have a show that's so good. But here's the question I have. Are people going into the Xbox show being... I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this question. Are people going in with lowered expectations? What I mean by that, what I mean by lowered expectations is, are they going in feeling like, kind of like how I am with Summer Game Fest? Like, I'm going into Summer Game Fest where just show me one thing. I have no expectation for Jeff Keighley's show. Just show me one thing. And if you can do that, that's good. Are people going in where it's like the bar is so low that all Microsoft really has to do is show one or two decently good looking things, then boom, that's a huge success? Because this is something that somebody said to me yesterday. They were like, dude, this is probably going to be an okay show, because that's just kind of how Microsoft does their shows. And a certain vocal minority are going to run with it and basically explain to everybody over and over again how it's the greatest show that's ever occurred. And I feel like, you know what, I should be careful. I think I may already be feeding into that by assuming that they're going to have an incredible show. But I really was just thinking about the conversations we've been having and how it is kind of disturbing, right? Like, a couple people yesterday, it's interesting the stuff that people focus on. A couple people yesterday really focused on the fact that at one point in my 3-hour stream, at one point I said that, Starfield is a Microsoft game, but actually it's kind of technically not. It's a Bethesda RPG. And then, these guys jumped on me immediately because they're like, dude, you said it yourself. Like, the buck stops with Microsoft. Starfield is a Microsoft game. And it's like, yes, that is true. Just like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 are a Sony game. But the thing that's really weird to me about that is how, like, me saying that Starfield is a Bethesda RPG, that is just a fact. Like, yes, we can agree it is a Microsoft game, right? But it is literally a Bethesda developed RPG. So it's just strange to me that people are already beginning to kind of form these conclusions, or not these conclusions. They're just making these hardline stances where it's like, well, now that Microsoft owns them, it is just purely a Microsoft game. It's like, well, on the most technical sense, sure. Or actually, I should say that the other way around. On a non-technical sense, yeah, a lot of people are going to say that's an Xbox game. It's Xbox exclusive. It's just interesting to me because I feel like this conversation is likely going to persist. Certainly going into the showcase for Xbox, but probably beyond that. You're saying, are you arguing semantics with yourself? It's not necessarily that I'm arguing them. It's just that, like, people need to be a little bit more nuanced with these conversations, and the fact that you can say, and I can say, and we can come to an agreement that Microsoft owns Bethesda, Microsoft owns Starfield. This is Microsoft's game. Absolutely it is. It is an Xbox Microsoft Studios game. However, Bethesda is the one who developed this game that is an RPG, an open world, vast RPG. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like. I just think that it's fascinating, but also pretty disappointing that people are still so unwilling to just acknowledge two separate things that can both be true at the same time. You know? PCs aren't Xboxes. No, they are. Well, no, technically they're not. Technically they're not. Michael Lynch, you're saying, Colt Eastwood already has his opinion for Sunday's show typed up. He'll champion it no matter what. Well, yeah, I mean, it's Colt Eastwood, man. I mean, Xbox would have to... look, man, Xbox... I watched a lot of these guys either A, go completely silent, or B, actually get angry. And Colt Eastwood was one of these people, and I gave him a lot of credit for that, where, yeah, Colt Eastwood, he's critical on Xbox when he has to be, but it's you could just tell that there's like a certain loyalty there that can never be broken. It will never be broken. And that's fine. I guess that's just, I don't think anybody is saying that I expect otherwise. You know what I mean? Some people probably think that about me, where like, your loyalty to PlayStation can never be broken. And it's like, I assure you, it could very easily be broken. I don't think people quite understand just how fragile that, whatever that is there that people identify. Like, no, it's not that simple. A string, all it would take is a string of some critical mistakes on Sony's part to make somebody like me go, and just like that, I'm no longer interested in the PlayStation platform. I've actually witnessed this recently. The amount of people that I've seen coming out being like, well, Sony's going full live service. I don't give a shit about anything you're doing anymore. It's like, well, hold on. I get it. No one likes to hear that their favorite single player game producer is embracing the live service game model. No one wants to hear that. But it like jumping to a conclusion that, oh, I guess that means no good single player games from Sony anymore. They literally they just showed you Spider-Man. Like, go look at Spider-Man and remind me again, what's the problem here? You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit, it's all disconnected to me, where I'm just seeing so many different, like, varying opinions. But Michael Lynch, getting back to your super chat, man, I know for a fact that a lot of Xbox fans are looking at this show and they absolutely want this to be the killer show, like the killing blow, not the killing blow, but just that show that Xbox probably should have done like 2 or 3 or even 4 years ago. And they just haven't delivered it yet. That's what a lot of people are expecting. And I won't lie to you. Like it's gonna, I've been pondering this, because I've been saying recently, the thing that I've been saying to you guys is, when I go into this Xbox show, the number one thing I'm going to walk away from, or the number one question I'm going to be asking myself after I walk away from the show is simply this: like, do I want to go buy an Xbox now? Well, technically I don't have to. I have a gaming PC. So realistically, at that point, the only question I would have to ask myself is, do I want to subscribe to Game Pass to play these games? Which at that point, I'm basically asking myself, is any of this worth $10 to me? I think back to what I said a couple weeks ago, and I just want to make sure not to be that type of person, because a lot of people are becoming that type of person right now, and I don't want to be that. And what I'm talking about is, I came out and I was merciless towards Xbox in April or early May. I think it was at the end of April and the beginning of May when the whole Redfall situation occurred. And I tore them up for that, rightfully so. And I tore Phil Spencer up for his, what I still think is just a bizarre interview. And it, at that time, it just reaffirmed to a lot of us, including me, many of you, me, and even at that time, again, like, I was pointing out at that time that, dude, some of the most hardcore Xbox fans, like Colt Eastwood, were actually making videos pissed off, like genuinely pissed off, and basically saying like, this is bullshit, Xbox. And I just think it is fucking wild that, hold on a second. Like, we are literally just 1 month removed from that shit show, but suddenly it's just everything's gonna just come together and it's gonna be great and it's gonna be fine. And that's where I kind of realized, you know what, I'm gonna pump the brakes on this, because the reason I got burned by Sony, that was my fault. Partially, not entirely. The reason why I got burned by Sony was because I expected them to do literally one of the greatest things that has ever been done. That's unrealistic. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you're going into. Having that expectation, you're automatically setting yourself up to 99% chance you're going to be disappointed. Saying MBG woke up and chose violence. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, like, I've been thinking about this, man. Like, I really have, where it's like, I definitely was, if you go back and watch my streams, you watch my videos, I was not happy with Sony. I was not. And I think almost everything I said was justified. However, I have been pondering over and over again, but is it that bad? Like, I mean, really, like, fucking think about it. Like, but is it that bad? Like, that bad? And the answer is, no, it's not. I'm not talking about the showcase, by the way. I'm not talking about the showcase. I'm just saying, like, it, you know, I had this stream on Sunday where I'm like, how are we feeling about the state of PlayStation? And to just summarize my feelings on it, my feelings summarize are, it could be a little bit better, but it's really not that bad. And it's funny because when I'm having conversations like that, I see people show up and they're like, no, dude, it is that fucking bad. Okay? PlayStation absolutely sucks. Lights, you're saying you really overreacted. Maybe I did. I mean, it was I won't lie, like, in terms of just raw, like, emotional reaction, I probably did. But you could argue I overreact to a lot of things. I mean, somebody would probably make the argument, hey, man, you overreacted with the whole Redfall situation. I mean, I'm sure there's an argument to be made for that. Maybe I did. Maybe I did overreact a little bit. But I think most people would probably turn around and be like, yeah, it was an intense emotional reaction to it, but pretty warranted. You know what I mean? Max J, you're saying, I'll wait for Wolverine before jumping ship. Well, I mean, if you're saying that as in you're expecting Wolverine to be good and Wolverine will prevent you from jumping ship, then you don't have to worry about that. Wolverine's going to be fucking incredible. There's no doubt about that. It's Insomniac here. So, you know, if that's what you're saying, I think you'll be perfectly fine. Stop scratching my beard. Domingo813, you're saying there's a method to the madness. We just have to wait. Even then, though, but are we waiting? No, we're not waiting. That's the realization that I'm having, is that, hold on. If somebody said, MBG, the reason why you overreacted to, like, Sony's show was because you basically made it seem like it's all downhill from here. It, like, you know what I mean? It's just, this has done serious damage. But that's where it's like, you know what? But it actually hasn't. Like, what are we waiting for? I'm seriously asking that. Like, what is it that people feel like they're waiting for? I'm just curious. Because I know what I feel like I'm waiting for. And the thing that I'm waiting for is not the most important thing. Because if we're comparing Microsoft and Sony, which, yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to compare them. I know that upsets some people sometimes, but it is what it is. We're going to compare. The truth is, like, Sony hasn't kept people waiting for pretty much anything except an actual show. What are you waiting for, MBG? I'm confused. Well, yeah. So the thing that I've been waiting for is, as I've said, a roadmap from Sony. And a lot of people have countered me, justifiably so, basically saying, like, dude, you can't be mad, or at least you shouldn't be mad, at the fact that Sony is not revealing their hand because they're busy getting ready to release games, to put out video games. They have been putting out video games consistently this entire generation. So, yes, your MBG, your reaction was an overreaction because you're basically making it sound like Sony makes one mistake, and that mistake is they have a showcase and they don't really show a solid roadmap for what's to come from first party in a relevant way, except for Spider-Man. So somebody might say, so yeah, it's justified to be upset about that and disappointed, but when you look at the bigger picture and you really zoom out, how bad is it really? And that's where I kind of, I'll be honest, that's why I'm thinking it, like my natural thought process goes to, I have been perpetually disappointed and let down by Microsoft because they just simply can't get their shit together. Seemingly, they haven't. And we're at a point where it's like, people after that Sony showcase specifically are making it sound like, and I've been contributing to that and everything is just going to turn around now. New Soul 9. Sorry, for some reason my chat glitched out for a second there. New Soul 9, you're saying, MBG, wait, can you fill me in? I just woke up from bed. I was hungover. It's all good, man. We're basically just talking about whether or not, as you can see, is Xbox really going to do it this time, New Soul 9? Are they really going to do it? Like, are they really going to come out with this show and finally make up for all of the things that have come before it? Because I don't know. I guess I'm just having like, I'm just sobering myself up, I guess, as well here, right? Metaphorically speaking, because it's just like, hold on, Spooky Helix, you're saying MBG can't respond to my facts. LOL, bro, I'm not seeing your facts because I can't follow everything in the chat. Spooky Helix, what are you saying? What facts? Oh, Jesus, he's a fucking troll. Nintendo Switch is more powerful than PS5. Goddamn, dude, that is an irrefutable fact. I don't even know what to say to that, bro. He just deconstructed MBG in real time with that fact. Oh shit, what is happening? Oh, that's funny, man. Bro, MBG will eat your facts and use it for muscle gains. Hell yeah, dude. That was funny. I did not expect that though. I really thought I was gonna read something serious. 18 May, you're saying, what made the Sony showcase so disappointing is the direction Sony is steering the ship, going so all in on live services off base. Dude, it's so funny to me. 18 May, I get that. But you know what's so funny to me? It's humorous that I'm seeing the conversation begin to shift where people are like, well, Xbox is going to have single-player games now, man. Xbox has all these single-player games in development. And Sony, they're out here showing me live service games. And what is just truly perplexing to me about this notion is like, holy hell, like, who here has faith? Look, I'm just being honest. Who here has that type of faith in Microsoft where it's just suddenly, you know what? I'm going to go to Microsoft to get my AAA single-player bangers. Because that's where this conversation is headed. And it's like, what the hell is going on here, people? Like, I get it. It is totally reasonable and understandable to look at Sony's direction with live service and think, eesh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about some of these live service games. Sony, you're making me a little nervous. But this is where I'm saying it's like, it just, I'll be honest, man. I feel like I just like kind of woke up today and like snapped out of it. Where it's like, dude, we were fucking having conversations about the quality of Spider-Man 2. And it's just like, no fucking way, bro. Like, there's just no, because I can't fathom that. Like, I kind of I understand that things shift and they're always changing and they're always in flux. But this is where I realized that, dude, I just got pulled, man. Like, I just got literally yanked, where I guess it was a combination of me being disappointed in the showcase, me being exposed at that time to a lot of, conversation that's outside of what I'm thinking and what you guys are thinking, most of you. Pyramid Scheme, you're saying it did look mid, though. Like, dude, I'm short-circuiting over here. Like, what? Look mid? Spider-Man looked mid? Wait, hold on. But that's the thing, is like, that's actually the shit that people are trying to push, where it's like, what world are we living in where that Spider-Man 2 gameplay is not good enough? You know what I mean? Like, who else is out here showing that? Doing, like, what? I'm not saying Sony's the only video game publisher producing great single-player AAA games, but holy hell, man. People are out here crying about fucking water physics. Like, what the fuck? It's Puddlegate 2. It is. It absolutely is, man. And this is where I'm just like, dude, fuck this. I'm not getting roped in. I'm not getting swayed to that shit again. Where it's like, think about it. Oh, Sony's showcase fucking sucked. And not only that, hey, Spider-Man 2 is fucking garbage. Look at those water physics. Oh, and by the way, Xbox's showcase is going to kick fucking ass, bro. They are going to slam dunk this shit, and they're going to show people what they want. Xbox has got the single-player games. Sony, they just got nothing but that live service trash. All this fucking nonsensical rhetoric that just makes no fucking sense, where it's like, you fucking guys just got Redfall. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? It's wild, bro. LOL. You worked in the morning? Dude, I did work out this morning. If I seem a little bit more jacked up today, it's because I actually, I worked out this morning. And I got like 3 cups of coffee in me. So, let's go. Let's fucking go. Ansel D, you're saying, or D'Angelo, you're saying the issue is that people hold Sony to an extremely high standard, but they allow Microsoft to be mediocre and give them excuses for it. Shaking my head. Absolutely, dude. That's literally what's happening right now. That is absolutely what's happening right now. And don't get me wrong, I am in agreement that we should hold Sony to a higher standard. We have to, and we have continued to do so. That is why so many people are willing to at least admit that showcase from a first-party standpoint was not what it should have been or what it could have been. And to a lot of people, it is disappointing. Now, not everybody is going off the rails like maybe I did during my reaction, where it's like, what the actual fuck is going on, Sony? You know? But that's kind of the realization I had, man, is that Xbox has had the bar so low. And a game like Redfall really is the most recent example of just how fucking low that bar can go. That it really has made it to where it's like, all Microsoft has to do now is just show, at this point, just 2 good things, and suddenly they're back in it, baby. And it's like, well, yeah, I guess so, but I guess I'm trying to reevaluate my expectations, dude. That's what it comes down to, because like, this is the question I'm actually asking myself. You're saying yesterday you said the console war. You said you don't console war anymore. I mean, does this count as console warring? I mean that. I'm serious. Like, is this console warring? Like genuinely, it is. Oh well, then fuck it. I guess I'm console warring. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? MBG said he wasn't going to console war, and then the next day, he's console warring. I can't help it, man. I can't. Well, because that's the thing is I'm like, dude, I don't know. This whole, I try to walk the path of peace, man. I try to walk the path of peace, but every time I got to walk the path of pieces, and I feel like it's not my fault. I feel like it's not my fault, man. I can't help it. I can't help it. Domingo813 getting things started today with a membership gift. Thank you, Domingo. I appreciate that, dude. It says we're at 2 members for the day. Unfortunately, that's not true. We are at 1 because, as I told you, it counts the member milestone chats as new memberships. And so, you know, it's just, it is what it is. I can't fix that. I don't know why it does that. But thank you so much, Domingo. Guys, let's get some W's in the chat for Domingo. You guys are already ahead of me on that one. So I appreciate the support, man. PS Gamer, you're saying, MBG, I don't understand the gaming media believing anything with Xbox saying when Phil... So I'm trying to read this correctly. You're saying, MBG, I don't understand the gaming media believing anything with Xbox saying when Phil's coming out saying we let Arcane do what they love. 1 month later, reports saying Redfall development was hoping to be canceled. And so, yeah, and like that's the thing, man. I'll be honest, like I didn't go into that conversation too deeply. I probably should have, realistically. I probably should have, because it's like, dude, a month after the meltdown that was Redfall, we get a report from Jason Schreier, who is considered the most I'd say he's probably considered the most reliable reporter in the industry when it comes to this type of stuff. And that is a damning report where the developers were straight up hoping Microsoft would cancel this game. And they didn't. And it's like that goes, and yet I'm reading comments of people telling me that, well, you know, if we're going to call if we're going to say Redfall was Microsoft's responsibility, then so is Starfield. It's like, okay, well, then how does that make you feel? Right? Like, how does that make you feel that it's like, okay, if we're gonna make that agreement, which I'm not saying I am, but just entertaining it temporarily here, where it's Microsoft. The buck stops with Microsoft, right? With Redfall and with Starfield, even though they purchased them, but they own them now. Okay, so go read that report from Jason Schreier. That's on Microsoft. What the fuck is that shit, dude? And we got Jakey Stee keeping this train rolling, man. Jakey Stee coming in with a second membership gift. Let's get some W's in the chat for Jakey. And a Crazy Arnold there for you. Give you a little... You're an Arnold laugh, too. Thank you, man. Thank you for keeping it going. Yeah, look, PS Gamer, I'm not here... I know how this might be I know how this is going to be interpreted by some people. I know how this is going to be interpreted, and they're interpreting this as, so you're saying Xbox is going to have a shit showcase. No, I'm not saying that. But I am beginning to say, leading into it, what proof is there that it will be a great showcase? You know what I'm saying? Like, at least with Sony, we kind of had that proof where it's like, well, they've done great showcases in the past, and they've been very consistent with the quality of their games and the consistency of their games. So yeah, the expectation was naturally set high. But what, you know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. We got Exley3000 coming in, dropping 5 membership gifts, getting it started. Guys, if you want to feel inspired by Exley, Jakey Stee, as well as Domingo813, you want to pay it forward, keep the memberships growing, by all means, consider doing so. I very much appreciate that, Exley. Doing serious work for the community, as always. Love to see it. Love to see it. And I would say let's get some W's in the chat, but you guys are already well ahead of me on that one. So that brings us up to 7 on the day. 7 memberships on the day. Thank you, guys. But yeah, that really is the question I have, man. Actually says, of course, amigo. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hold on, we got Illegal Monkey in the chat saying, whistleblower, U.S. recovered intact and partially intact vehicles of non-human origin. Oh, snap. Oh, damn. What's happening now, bro? Telling me you got aliens coming now? I'm not... would anybody be surprised about that? I wouldn't be. Who would be surprised by that? We found an alien spaceship. Like, oh, cool. I notice how the lack of shock in my face. Like, of course you did. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Like, I 100% believe that there's other life forms out there, and it wouldn't shock me at all if they happen to come across Earth, man. You know? That's how Xbox is going to do it. Xbox is in cahoots with extraterrestrials, and they're teaching them. They're giving them the secret and teaching them and giving them some kind of like technology. And Xbox is going to showcase it on their stage, and everybody's going to be blown away. They're not going to understand, like, what is this? We've never seen anything like this before. But Phil Spencer will know how. I'm telling you, it's all connected, bro. It's all connected. All right, let me make sure I read these super chats. So thank you so much, PS Gamer, for the super chat. And I'm in agreement with you. Like, I think it is absolutely wild that people are just suddenly finding themselves confident in Microsoft. Even me. Like, I don't know. I had to slap myself out of it where it's like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, how can you allow yourself to expect Xbox to have a good show? How can you do that? How can you do that? MBG sounds like a husband who promises his wife he will change, but he doesn't. Classic MBG. I mean, that's the thing, man. I have inner conflict at times, but it's just, there is this side of me that just comes out where it's like, hold on a second, though. Like, this peace and quiet is nice, and it's pleasant, but it feels like there's something not quite right about it. And that's just what happens, man. I don't know how else to explain it. Zenzo76, you're saying, I think Sony should buy the Halo IP to save it. Dude, that'd be the funniest shit ever. Yeah, Sony buys the Halo IP from Microsoft and hands it off to Bungie. Oh my God. Sony would be considered the saviors of gaming. But yeah, Microsoft would never sell the Halo IP. Never in a million years. Exley 3000 says, we all have dueling ideas within us. It's true, man. It's true. I don't know. Maybe some people don't, though, you know? Like, are there some people that just don't? Geronimo says, LMAO, insane timeline. Yeah, dude, the MBG timeline. There's so many different MBG arcs, you can't even keep up with them. But that's what keeps it interesting, right? You never know what you're going to get. Even I don't know what I'm going to get. 18 May, you're saying, MBG, keep going. These are the hot takes we like. More coffee, more coffee. Well, I got to be careful with the coffee. I don't want to chug it. You will actually see me go insane if I just chug a whole cup of coffee. I mean, I'm just trying to, the reason why I'm bringing the energy is because it feels right, man. It feels necessary. It feels justified because I'll be honest, man. Like, I do feel at times like I have to be that person to just try to remind people that, like, look, because they're going to do it to me too, man. Like, it's going to happen to me. I know it. Like, if Sony does another showcase later this year, you know how many people are going to come my way and be like, but remember their last one, man? Remember how you acted the last time? Remember how disappointed you were? And it's like, yeah, you're right. How can I argue that? You're not wrong. Does it mean I'm going to be in a complete agreement and say, yeah, you're right, this show's probably going to suck too? No, but you're right. There's something happened that I should consider and not forget, and keep that in mind so that way going forward, I can calibrate my expectations accordingly. And I'm just not seeing that. There's just this energy, man. It's almost like Xbox got a win without doing anything. You know, people are acting like Xbox got a big win because Sony's showcase was underwhelming. And if that doesn't speak volumes about the state of Xbox, I don't know what else does. And I mean that sincerely. It's not great out here, guys. It's not great. I always, you can always anticipate that if Sony drops the ball, there's going to be people ready there to pounce on it, even if they should maybe be a little bit cautious about doing so. But I'm just over here thinking to myself, look, man, I got excited for the PlayStation Showcase. We all know how that went. I'm now finding myself going into the Xbox Showcase literally assuming, oh, they're going to fucking knock this shit out of the park, dude. And it's like, I got to smack myself upside the head. It's like, where's that coming from? And I realize, you know where that's coming from? That's coming from the media, all the vocal minority. Well, I don't even know if they're the minority at this point, but all the people being vocal all around. And I have been trying hard to not pay much attention to it, but I happen to come across things here and there. And I just find myself being like, yeah, they're probably right. Yeah, I think Xbox, but it's like, dude, like, just remember who, like, what it is you're talking about here. This isn't PlayStation. This isn't Sony. This isn't PlayStation Studios. This isn't Nintendo. This isn't CD Projekt Red. This isn't Rockstar Games. This isn't Respawn Entertainment. This is Microsoft, bro. This is Microsoft you're talking about. Don't forget that. And that's why. That's why. New Soul 9, you're saying you holding someone to high standards in the entitlement industry, then you're setting yourself up to be disappointed one day because that won't be consistent forever. It's tough, man. You're not wrong about that. You are not wrong about that. It's like watching a Super Bowl winning team. It's like watching a team win the Super Bowl like 2 years, 3 years in a row. I don't know if has anybody won 3 years in a row, but just, consistently winning Super Bowls. The fan base naturally has this expectation where they're just going to continue to win and at the very least always get to the championship. And then when that day comes where it's like they had a season where they didn't even make the playoffs, suddenly it's like, yeah, those fans are going to be really, really hard on that team and everyone that's involved with that team. And somebody might come out and say, like, I don't know that that's justified, guys. Like, look at what they've been doing leading up to this one bad season. Does that not count for anything? And to a lot of people, it doesn't mean shit. Yes, to a lot of people, it doesn't count for anything. And I realize, like, I'm not one of those fucking people, dude. Because to me, that's just not cool. That's not fair. I feel like when you're looking at something and you're going to judge it based off of what's happening right in front of you, you have to also consider what came before it. Because if not, then you're basically you're being ignorant at that point. And that's what I realized, dude. My opinion on Xbox yesterday was straight up pure ignorance and delusion. It was. And I don't know why I didn't see it clearly yesterday. I don't know. I guess maybe I just wasn't thinking straight. I just wasn't thinking about it in depth enough. But I literally was just playing into that. Oh yeah, you know what? And it's like nothing ever happened. It's like nothing Xbox has done prior to this showcase has happened or has mattered. It's a weird thing, man. But it happens. So I don't know, man. I'm tired of hearing that word. I'll be honest. I'm tired of hearing the word entitled. Like, just because I have a fucking standard doesn't make me entitled. And if it does, then fuck it. I'm entitled and I don't care. Like, I'm not out here paying these. You know what it fucking reminds me of, dude? Holy shit. Sorry, there's a lot of swearing today. I saw this tweet. This was like a couple weeks. This was like 2 weeks ago or something. And I totally forgot to mention this, but because it blew my mind. I literally, and this is where you see this is a problem. This is absolutely a problem, and we need to take this rhetoric and just light it on fire. Okay? It actually has nothing to do with Xbox or PlayStation, but you can see why it's relevant. It's in the video game industry. That game came out Gollum, right? And Gollum is a game that's so bad, it's like it makes Redfall look good. That's how bad Gollum is. But the day that Gollum launched, the studio, Dialec or something, I think their studio name is, they literally had a full-blown statement ready to go the day the game came out, basically saying, we're sorry, we probably shouldn't have even made this game. We know we let you down, And it's like, okay, that's really fucking stupid. But okay, I can't say I'm shocked. But then I saw this tweet, and it was from a developer. And this is why I know it's all about we got to respect developers and we got to care about developers. But there is a line here, people. This developer came out and had this hot take, and like thousands of people agreed with him. And I'm just like, just nuke this site, bro. This is bad. He came out, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he basically said, developers need to stop coming out and apologizing for their shit games. And people need to be more understanding that these are hardworking people with livelihoods, and they shouldn't have to apologize for anything. And I'm like, what the actual fuck are you smoking, bro? Really? Like, you are out here defending not the game Gollum, but the fact that the development team is apologizing for their piece of garbage that they knew was a piece of garbage. And rather than saying, maybe don't make garbage, don't apologize for garbage, just get better, right? So like some Kratos shit. Rather than doing any of that, he takes the fucking stance of, they shouldn't have to apologize for anything. Like, dude, this is why. This is why we get broken games and we get just shit. This is why we get shit, because it's just like, people adopt this mentality where it's like, if you expect a development team to apologize for releasing a broken game, you're fucking entitled. You're entitled. Fuck the fact that you took your hard-earned money to buy a product that they were selling you. You're entitled. And this is what I'm saying. Like, that is a very extreme example of how just straight up stupid, like just a dumbass mentality regarding this stuff. But there are different degrees of that. And people coming out and saying that, like, oh, if you expected more from the Sony showcase, you're entitled. Like, no, I'm fucking not. And neither is any other PlayStation fan for expecting that. Just like no Xbox fan is entitled to going into this Xbox show saying, Microsoft, you better fucking bring the heat today. That's not entitlement. That's called billion-dollar corporations expecting you to give them money and trying to sell you products. And the consumer saying, okay, please show me why I should be willing to give you $60, $70 a pop, or at least in the case of, or $500 for a console, right? Or even $10 for Game Pass. This is the type of shit where it's like, you don't have to go off the rails like I do. You don't have to say Sony is done and they are the worst ever because they had a bad showcase. But it's totally fair. It's completely reasonable and completely fair to turn around and say, Sony, that showcase was severely lacking in first-party games and first-party gameplay. And that's not why I tune into the showcase. I expect better. That's not entitlement. That is not entitlement. I'm tired of the apologist mentality. It brings me back to that Phil Spencer interview that I had PTSD about, because if you look at the way people treated Phil in that interview, that's exactly what it was. It was, oh, it's okay, man. Like, we look at how courageous Phil is for coming out here and doing this interview. Like, this man should be he should not be interviewing right now. He should be screaming at somebody or possibly firing somebody for what the fuck that game was and what that product was. Okay, that's reality. That's what should be happening. The hammer has to come down and somebody's got to answer for the bullshit. And this is where I'm tired of, like, I get that we don't want to be savages out here, right? But we need to be fair and we need to be firm in what this is. That's what it comes at. We need to be firm in what this is. This is an industry. This is a business. We are talking about money. Yes, people's livelihoods are involved. Yes, art is involved. The creation of video games is art, but it cannot be one or the other. They all have to come together cohesively like they have, like they continue to, and they need to be treated accordingly. When a good fucking game comes out, it deserves to be praised. It deserves to be rewarded. And the people who are associated with that game deserve the praise and the reward. And the people who put out bad video games, while still simultaneously asking for the same amount of money, or any money at all, they deserve the criticism they get. And that's just how it is, man. It's just crazy to me what is happening in the gaming industry, where just so many people are just like, hey man, broken games, unfinished games, low quality games, and yet you see these quarterly earnings reports, and you just see that nothing has changed, man. And this is why people have always wondered why. Like, dude, how come you seem so loyal to PlayStation? The only reason I give PlayStation my money is because I feel like they should be rewarded for a lot of what they do. But it's not just PlayStation. Why do you think I gave EA money for a game like Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Or I gave WB money for a game like Hogwarts Legacy? Or again, I gave EA money for a game like Dead Space Remake? Because these are high quality single player AAA games that you can tell they cared about the product, man. Like, they cared about this game and the fact that we got to sell this. People expect something very good, you know, and that's all it comes down to, man. And you know, getting back to the whole Xbox thing here, it's just like, I can't recall the last time Xbox put out a game that made me think I would go pay $10 for that. I really can't. Like, and that's not me saying that their games are shit. I'm just saying that any game that has looked like it's worth $10, there was nothing there that felt like, oh, this is totally fresh. Like, the last game that I can think of that came out that I think would probably be worth $10 to me personally was probably Forza Horizon 5. Saying Hi-Fi Rush, sure, that's fine. Like, if somebody thinks Hi-Fi Rush is worth $10, you're probably right. I heard it was a good game. For me, it's not doing it for me. You know, and this is just where is Sony are they gonna start putting out games that are not gonna be worth even $10? Are some of these live service games that Sony's going to put out, are they just going to be utter fucking trash and garbage? Maybe. It could. Yeah, they could. And if they do, I'll let you know. I'll be right here letting everybody know. But damn, dude. I didn't expect to go on that massive tangent there, but I just really was very shocked to see that is a conversation that not only people are having, but many people are in agreement with, where it's just like, these developers shouldn't have to apologize for anything. It's like when you go watch I think the way he phrased it too, he compared it to like if you go watch a bad movie, do the actors come out and apologize, and do the people who worked on that movie come out and apologize? And it's like, well, no, but maybe they should. Maybe whoever is responsible for the creation of said product that turned out to be trash, maybe they should have something to say for themselves. You know, like, I'm not going to tell them not to apologize. I mean, preferably don't say sorry. Just fix your shit, man. But it's wild out here. The gaming industry is a wild place, man. That's one thing I've learned. This place is crazy. Maybe that's why I like it. The Zombie Fanatic, you're saying, seeing Halo, I have no faith. New FM would be good. I can't argue with you, Zombie Fanatic. Yeah. I think people forget that. Like, oh, what came before Redfall? Halo. What came before that? Crackdown 3. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm not saying this to say, and this is why Xbox's showcase is going to suck. I'm just saying, keep that in mind. Just keep it in mind. Space D says, why flip all of a sudden? It's because, dude, like, Xbox will get a win when they earn it. Xbox will get a win when they earn it. They have not earned shit. The only people who think Xbox has won anything are people who hate PlayStation and just fanboy for Xbox. Those are the only people who are out here thinking that somehow Sony having a less than stellar show means that Xbox's show is now going to be better. Like, dude, I saw a tweet. I forget who put this tweet out. This was a little while ago too. They said maybe you guys can tell me who it was. I forget, but they said something like, I know a lot of people are now very excited for the Xbox show, but don't forget how many times Microsoft has missed what was a very easy layup. SD, you're saying MBG, Colin Moriarty said that the Last of Us factions had lots and lots of tests, and it's possible that they just didn't solve the engagement issue. Okay. Well, yeah, I believe that. Wrestling Mark says, sad to see you back to fanboying today. Your recovery was going so well in the last week. Dude, I get it, man. Like, I get it, but the truth is, you either, if I make this statement, okay, you're either going to agree with it or you're going to disagree, and that will essentially determine whether or not, you're going to jive with who MBG is. And that statement is, Xbox in my opinion, to me, has absolutely sucked for many years straight now. Just straight up. Like, they have just not been good. And if your instinctive reaction to that is to, I'm going to list you like 6 games that I played on Xbox, then you probably shouldn't be here. Like, and I don't mean that rudely. Like, I appreciate it. I actually appreciate your viewership. I'm just saying that, like, if like you're not going to change my mind by being like, but these 3 games I played, like, dude, I'm not like, that's great for you, man, but that doesn't change my viewpoint that Xbox has just not been doing it. You can mention Forza, you can mention Hi-Fi Rush. That's like, for me, that doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't. And if you're saying, well, that's not being objective, dude, I'm just one person. I'm not. I have tried at so many times to be just completely fucking objective in every analysis. But what's the point? If I try to be completely objective in all of my analysis and all of my opinion, right? They got to have the most objective opinion, no bias. I become a fucking robot. And that's not what I am, dude. If you want that, there's plenty of other people that will be just that. They'll just be a fucking vessel to communicate to you what's happening, and they'll say, and I don't care. I have no feeling on it. And that's fine. That's fine. But I can't do that, man. I can't do it. It's just like, I can't go into this Xbox show feeling excited because Xbox, they're just, again, it's like the whole conversation surrounding, and I'm not diving into this, so don't worry. I don't want to scare anybody off. I'm not diving into it. Okay, I'm not diving into, I'm just making a statement. All right? It's just like the ABK deal, where it's like, I get so tired of it that I start to just say, you know what? Fuck it, man. How can I see this in a good light? How can I try to construct Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard as where's the good to be found in that? And I realized that I don't fucking care whatever good there is to be found in that, because it doesn't matter to me. I think Xbox is pathetic for buying them. I that's how I felt from day one. And no matter what happens, I will feel that way. And me trying to deny that is clearly me just trying to say well, I guess this is what people, this is what everybody's in agreement with. I don't fucking care what everybody's in agreement with. And I'm just tired of caring what other people think. That's all it comes down to, because I get shit on all the time where it's like, MBG's a dumbass, MBG's toxic, MBG's a clown. Like, I'm fucking all those things. And that's fine. But to a lot of other people, I'm not those things at all. I've gotten so many people that have come to my channel and said, dude, you're my favorite content creator, and I love watching your stuff. And that's where it's just like, I'm tired of the fucking assholes that have a problem with me having a fucking louder voice than the people who are coming here saying, dude, I appreciate you, man. Fuck those assholes. Fuck those bitches. They're like, they don't fucking mean shit. They don't. And that's all it boils down to, man. So for those of you who are here with me, thank you. You know who you are, and I appreciate it. And you've been here with me. And I know there are times where we disagree on things, and there are going to be times where some people are like, yo, I got to bow out, man. That's fine. But I'm so sick and tired of doing this shit to myself, because it's doing a disservice to my audience. It's doing a disservice to me. And it's not good. It's not good. And so I will admit, sometimes people wonder, like, how come you seem like you're so all over the place? Because there are times where I am made to feel that me being who I am is a problem. And then just one day I wake up and I decide, actually, that's not a fucking problem. Unless I deem it so. And that's all it comes down to, man. That's as simple as that. And we got Ray Hugh coming in with a membership gift, bringing us up to 8 on the day. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that, bud. Get a little crazy Arnold in there. That's where we're going today. What annoyed MBG so much today? Well, I mean, I'm not... Obviously, you could tell I'm like, there's annoyance in my voice, but it's just that this is just... That's who I am, man. Like, I like I say, like, oh, I'm going to be a completely... Like, I admire people. I do. Like, I admire people who are very calm and relaxed and chill, and they just, there's like, they are in complete control of their emotions. I admire that, because to me, that's a difficult thing for me anyway to achieve. And I respect that, but it's just at the end of the day, I ultimately keep coming back to the realization that, but that's not me. Like, whoever that person is, I can admire them and I can respect that, but that is literally not me, and it never will be. MBG, I admire people. Yeah, there are a lot of people I look up to, man. There are. And I just, I've just kind of reconciled with the fact that, at least I'm trying to reconcile with the fact that it's, everybody's got to be who they really are. And for better or for worse, that's really all you can do. That's all you can do. How many cups of coffee did MBG drink today? About 5. No, I'm on my 3rd cup now. So it's not like it's something crazy. All right, let me see. We got Kevin Phillips. Thank you for the $10, man. You're saying, keep up the great coverage. I appreciate it, dude. I'll do my best. I will admit, like, I hear the feedback. I know. A lot of the content over the past couple of days, it's been pretty redundant. I get it. And I'm trying my absolute best to not be too overly redundant, but I just can't ignore the reality that there will be slower periods of time where it might not be, like, the topics that we are discussing might not be, it's just the way the industry works, man. It's just the way the things flow. And as I said, right now, the reason why it's so, there's just like, it's so quiet right now. At least, well, I mean, I'm not being quiet, obviously, but just generally speaking, is like I said, man, that we are we are on the cusp of two showcases happening. So yeah, the most we could probably get between now and Thursday and now and Sunday are leaks of some kind, and they might get, they might get leaked. Some things might get leaked. It's like asking Kratos to be a Zen Buddhist. Ain't happening. MBG is an addict, and we understand. Tomorrow he will apologize. You know what it is, dude? It's just like, I'm not against apologizing when I feel like I'm actually wrong about something. Like if I feel like I genuinely that was I was totally wrong about that, or that was messed up, or that was dumb, whatever it may be. Like I have no problem, but I just come to realize that I don't really feel that way about a lot of things that I've said and done. Like for example, a lot of people still come at me where they're like, dude, I really think that you overreacted to the or not even overreacted. I've had quite a few people basically tell me like, dude, you're just a straight clown for the way you behaved for the PlayStation Showcase. It's like, okay. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I had a good time, and that was a great stream, and everybody that was there had a pretty good time, even if you didn't like me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Do you want me to apologize for that? Do you want me to tell you like I regret doing that? Because I absolutely don't. You know what I mean? We'll get hippie MBG in tomorrow's stream. Yeah, maybe that's what this channel is ultimately going to be. Just I'm like that guy. What was that M. Night Shyamalan movie? I think he was the one who did it. But there's like that dude. He had like 12 personalities or something. That's going to be me on this channel, man. I'm already halfway there. I just, it's a tough balance, man. It really is. Like, the movie Split. It's going to be me. It's just a tough balance because I don't want to be closed-minded. Like, I do want to have an open mind, and I feel like it is very important to have an open mind and to be willing to see things from another perspective. It's just that a lot of times when I do that, I tend to go too far in that direction where I'm not being open-minded. I'm not seeing another perspective. Instead, I'm just adopting a new mentality that I think, oh, well, this one seems pretty, that seems pretty good. So I'll just, that sounds fine to me. But then it's just like, the realization kicks in where it's like, do you really agree with that though? Like, is that really how you feel? It's like, well, actually, no, I don't think so at all. Open your mind to PC gaming, MBG. PC gaming, eh? I will tell, I've been thinking about that. Like, I've really been thinking, like, if there are Xbox games that I want to end up playing, am I going to just play them on my PC? It's right. Like, I have literally the Xbox app on my PC. I don't use it, but it just makes me realize that all I would actually have to do is hook up a controller and I'm good to go. So I don't know, but I do like the console experience. Like, it would feel kind of weird. MBG equals multiple personality bound gamer. I like that. That's funny, dude. You're saying that's why you have a PC? MBG is having mood swings. Hey, man, bipolar disorder does run in my family, but as far as I'm aware, I'm not, well, I don't know. Some people probably would say I'm bipolar. If I am, I'm not like, it's not to a severe detriment, I guess. I have a family member, dude. I have a family member who has bipolar disorder, and oh man, is it bad. Like, I guess that's why if somebody told me I had bipolar, I would say I don't think so, because I have a family member who has like actual bipolar disorder, and oof, man, it's this family member I'm talking about, like, they have to be on medication and they refuse to take it. Like, they refuse to be on medication. And it is just not good, man. Like, it's not good. It's quite sad. It's quite sad. And unfortunate. But on a better note, we got Hellbound 1981 coming in with a 5-bomb. Hellbound, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that support. 5 memberships gifted. Let's keep it going, guys. Get a membership train going if you want. if you want to. Pay it forward if you're feeling inspired. The support means a lot to me, guys. I really appreciate it. So W's in the chat for Hellbound coming in, bringing us up to 13 on the day. 13 memberships on the day. Love to see it, dude. Let me see. I do have a couple super chats here. And Exley comes in keeping it going. Exley getting the membership train going. That's 10 from Exley 3000 today. So another 5-bomb from Exley. And Austin Kays comes in with another gift as well. Love to see it. Thank you guys so much. Huge shout out to you guys. Huge shout out for the continued support. We have such a generous community here. We really do. The MBG train is on a roll. Yeah, it certainly is, because now we have Domingo 813 jumping in as well. Again. Domingo 813 coming in again. Love to see it, guys. Thank you for the support. I think that brings us up to 20 members. 20 members on the day. Almost reaching our goal. The support is it's incredible, man. Yeah, we got to get some W's in the chat. Got to get a couple sound bites there. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And I think, yeah, okay, we're good there. We love our real MBG. Austin Kays does it. Dude, Austin Kays comes in with the 5-bomb, bro. 5-bomb to bring us up to 25 on the day. Crushing our goal. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Austin. Thank you to everybody who continues to gift. Speaking of which, I am going to be doing... So I've decided when I'm going to do the next members only stream, and I'm going to do it this upcoming Saturday. I know it's still a couple days away, but you know, we have Summer Game Fest coming up, and I basically determined I think Saturday would be the best day to do it. So anybody who is a channel member and those who just got gifted memberships, look forward to that. We're going to hang out, watch some stuff, react to some stuff. MBG, you're too emotional. Hey man, I am who I am. I am an emotional person. I'm an angry person a lot of times. I'm not always angry, but I am an angry person, man. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what my life is. Some of you guys would probably be fucking shocked if I told you some of the shit I've been through. You wouldn't believe it. I can't even believe it sometimes. But here I am. Here I am. And you know what? That's why I've always told you guys, and I've always I've always meant this, and I'll always mean it. The support that you guys show me, I don't like. I understand that people get tired of hearing it. They get tired of hearing it, but I can't help myself, man. Like, I need to let you guys know how much it really means. It really means everything. So thank you. Thank you, guys. Jakey Stee coming in, keeping the train rolling still. Jakey Stee coming in with another membership gift. Keeping it going. PlayStation Gen saying, you're falling apart, dude. Wow, that's pretty intense though, man. Like, to say I'm falling apart, you're like insinuating that like my life is falling apart. Like, listen, man, I assure you, life's going pretty good. All right. So I'm assuming you're saying that from your concerned point of view. You don't have to. Yeah, it's not that deep, man. It's not that deep. Like, my life is not falling apart. Things are going well, generally speaking. If the biggest problem I have when I'm streaming, if the biggest problem I have on any given day when I'm streaming a topic is I'm not ready to get hyped for Xbox's showcase because fucking Redfall, things are going pretty good in my life. Okay? I assure you. But speaking of which, I do want to make sure I can get to the only thing falling apart is MBG's clean shave track record. Yeah, that's true. As it should be. MBG is more energetic today because he had 5 gallons of coffee today. No, dude, you know what it is? I know this is weird, But you know how they're like, you need to get 8 hours of sleep a night. Like you need 8 hours of sleep. I've always questioned that, right? Like, I feel like it's different for everybody. Now, I'm not saying that it's healthy, like to get 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night. Like, if you were to ask me, I would say if you got 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night every night, you're hurting yourself badly. Like, that's not good. That's too little. But what I will say, and I see some of you guys in the chat saying it too, yeah, I'm in that boat too. Like 5 to 7 hours, like 7 the absolute most. You know, like that to me is perfect. It really, because sometimes at night, like I get nervous because I wake up early and I try to keep a strict schedule. I always get nervous if it's late, if it's like 12 or 1 in the morning or something like that, and I start to get a little bit anxiety, like shit, man, I should probably be in bed by now, you know, like I'm not gonna get enough sleep. And then it's like I sleep at that, I just like, you know, chill, just go to sleep when you're ready. I feel great. You know, I think people have to listen to their bodies more. I do. I think that's the right thing to do. I think that especially in today's day and age, you go on the internet, you look around you, everywhere you look, everybody's trying to tell you how to live, how to do this, how to do that. You have to educate yourself. Absolutely. Educate yourself, fill yourself with knowledge. But at the end of the day, I think for a lot of this stuff, people just tend to completely overcomplicate it. And I think a lot of times it just simply comes down to, what is your body telling you? You know, my body tells me if I sleep in, right? Like if I just go to bed at a normal time and I sleep in, and I get like 9 hours of sleep, I feel like utter shit for the entire day. I feel like complete shit. And like based off of what everybody tells you, you would think it should be the opposite. You should feel better. You should feel more well rested. Not me, man. Not me. I feel horrible when I get actually like when I sleep in. So, you know, Gaming Survivor. I love it, dude. Gaming Survivor comes in and says, my body told me Xbox sucks. Well, hey, man, is it because you tried the Xbox body wash? I think that because if you tried the Xbox body wash and that was your body's response to it, I get that. That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. You know? Dude, the Xbox body wash. I love that, man. That was incredible. I wish Sony would do something like that because it would be so funny. It would be the funniest thing ever. I want Sony to come out with some deodorant, some body wash, some body spray. I'd put it right behind me too on the shelf. Exley 3000 says, same thing with drinking 8 glasses of water. That's incorrect. You should drink when you're thirsty. Drinking too much water lowers your electrolytes. Yes, dude, Exley. Yes, absolutely, man. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying every time I try to hit 8 glasses of water a day, I feel bad. Like I feel full, I feel bloated, and I'm like, this doesn't feel healthy, you know? And I'm peeing a lot, like way more than I feel like I should be. But on days where I feel like I don't drink enough, like I only drink a little bit and only drink when I'm actually thirsty, I feel just the polar opposite, man. Like I don't feel dehydrated. I don't feel bad. I feel less bloated, less bogged down, you know? And you're right. It's probably because of electrolytes, dude. See, what's going on out here, man? What's going on with this information? Who's saying this stuff? Where's this coming from? 8 glasses of water a day. Come on, man. Come on. I didn't drink any water yet today, and look at me. I'm thriving out here. It's like an hour later, I crashed so hard. I'm just like, you know what, guys? Disregard literally everything I said. I feel absolutely horrific. No, but I actually do feel pretty good. I worked out early this morning, too. Saying you drank 1 liter of water today so far? Yeah, I guess, well, drinking coffee, you are getting water. I know coffee is a caffeine is a diuretic, so it's actually going to try to purge water from your body. MBG is full of wisdom today. Listening to your body is essential. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You drink Gatorade all day at work? I like Gatorade. I just think the only problem with Gatorade is it does have a bit too much sugar in it. Like, Gatorade's good if you are actually very active. You know, your body will use those carbohydrates. But Jakey Stee saying fasted workouts, absolutely. Yes. Again, you talk about listening to your body. I started this thing where it's like I'm going to start working out within the first 15 minutes of when I wake up. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I don't know, I am a morning person. Like when I wake up, I have the most amount of energy. And I felt like, what if I just work out? Maybe I'll get an even better workout. And dude, it doesn't sound like it would result in a better workout, but getting out of bed, just, having a little bit of coffee at first, and then immediately going into my workout, it feels amazing. Like I get a better pump. I have more energy. They just feel more effective. And I also feel way more productive because I feel like, well, I got that done today, So you're saying the first 15 minutes, you wake up, you try to keep your eyes open. Yeah, I don't know. I really am just a morning person, man. Like I love the morning. I don't know why. I mean, I feel groggy just like everybody else when I wake up too. It's not like I'm sitting there like, jumping up out of bed like, let's get the day started. Like, no, I'm not like that. But it only takes me like 5 minutes probably to actually wake up. Something that is really good for you, and this is just a little bit of advice for anybody who does struggle to wake up in the morning. Try to get some sunlight, like as soon as you possibly can. Like as soon as your eyes open and you're up, just like go outside for a couple minutes if you're able to, or just stand in front of the window with the window open. Get some sunlight in your eyes. That literally sends signals in your brain to literally like, okay, now it's daylight. It's actually time to wake up, and you'll start. Like if you wake up and you like kind of in darkness and there's not a lot of light, you're sending your body a mixed signal. So 5 minutes of sunlight, 5 minutes is okay. It's best to try to get a little bit more than that. And make sure you just get sunlight in general, man. One of the worst things you can do, sunlight you need for everything, man. Like if you don't get any sunlight, you're gonna become sickly. Like mentally, emotionally, and physically, it's essential. Now, I'm not saying go bake in the sun for an hour and a half. No, take care of your skin as well. But you definitely need some sunlight. It's not overrated, I promise you. All right, we went way off track there. I don't know why but I like those conversations. Hold on, you're saying factually incorrect. I don't think so, man. I no. I mean, maybe. I guess I don't know. I guess I never understood people who could just never go in the sun and be like just totally okay. Because if I go extended periods of time with no sun whatsoever, I don't feel too great. And it just feels so nice to get some. Do I ever go jogging? I'm not a jogger, no. I admit I really should do more cardio. I'm a walker, though. I go for walks all the time. I like walking, Brisk walking, of course. All right, let me see here. All right, so Top Shot, I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. Top Shot comes in with a $10 super chat saying people should stop giving the notion or believing the notion, I guess, that Microsoft is not a successful company. Microsoft is a $1 trillion company because of their success. CEO for the first time said they are all in on gaming. And yeah, so that's what's weird is a lot of people do confuse Microsoft and Xbox, which is understandable because they technically are one and the same, but the Xbox division is underneath Microsoft, and Microsoft is like you said, a $1 trillion, I think they're a multi-trillion-dollar company now. They're one of the most successful, valuable, just choked. They're force choking me, bro. Microsoft is force choking me. They're like, don't you dare talk about us now, MBG. Microsoft is one of the most powerful companies in the world, and they anybody who thinks, because you're right, they are all in on gaming now, man. Are you okay, MBG? No, dude. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Somebody over there at Microsoft is trying to force choke my ass. Maybe I've been playing too much Star Wars Jedi Survivor. MBG had trouble saying that. I really did, man. Did you hear that? It was like something really tried to stop me from saying it. But yeah, the reality is now that Microsoft is all in on gaming, I understand why that excites people. But again, the reason why that doesn't excite me is because what does that mean for Microsoft? Microsoft being all in on gaming, all that actually means is we're going to start buying shit now. We're going to buy Bethesda, we're going to buy Activision Blizzard, and it's just, we've had the conversation over and over and over again where it's like, does money solve all problems? Money is needed, in my opinion, for almost all solutions regarding the video game industry, but money alone, money by itself, is not necessarily going to solve all the problems. A lot of times, it's a multifaceted issue that requires a multifaceted solution, and I think that right now with what Microsoft, we're going to find out. That's the thing. That's why I say, is Xbox really going to do it? We're going to find out. We're going to get our answer this Sunday. We're going to get our answer because the implication now is, okay, we might see Fable. How long has Fable been in development? Years. We might see Hellblade 2. How long has Hellblade 2 been in development? For years. We might see Avowed. Same thing, right? Perfect Dark, State of Decay 3, possibly some Bethesda game. You would assume some Bethesda games. But like, that's my whole thing is like, I can't actually allow myself to get excited for the Xbox show. Yeah, Everwild. I can't get excited for it because it's like, where is the proof that when we see these games, they're going to be really good? Where is that proof? I mean, maybe like the only game that I think I'm willing to actually say that for is Hellblade 2, because we have seen a little bit of it. And based off of what we've seen, it does look like it has the potential to be very good. But even then, it's like Ninja Theory alone delivering a great game in Hellblade 2, that is not going to be enough by itself to change the conversation around Xbox. And maybe for some people it is, but not for me. I'm going to need more than that. And maybe I'm entitled, but I don't care. It, like I said, man, I have been waiting for so long, and I know that like there are people who are like, dude, you just want to see Xbox fail. Actually, here's the reality. I don't want to see Xbox fail. I just expect them to. There is a difference. There is a difference. Me actually wanting to see Xbox fail would be weird because it's just like, look, man, if that's my desire, then I've been getting my wish consistently. And that's that. But it's just that I truly do expect them to fail because they've had so many opportunities over the past decade to work to get it right. And I'm not saying it means they never can or will get it right. They might. My cat's fighting. They might get it right this time. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not sitting here with the expectation that it's guaranteed to happen, or I'm even confident that it will. I'm not. I just, there's no reason for that. Xbox has truly shit the bed numerous times, and even just very recently, even just a month ago, they shit the bed. MBG, look at what IGN posted an hour ago. Oops, sorry, I just smashed my mic. What did they post? You got to give me a... No, turn the damn video player off. God damn. Oh my God. I have not been on IGN's website in forever, dude. What did they post? You got to give me a... I mean, I'm assuming it's something relevant, but what did they post? Maybe I'll go check it out. Somebody told me that I was included in an IGN video or something, and I couldn't find it. Gee, don't worry, man. GTV, I didn't miss your super chat. I'm gonna read through these super chats. I apologize it's taking so long. You're saying it's on Twitter. Let me see, an hour ago. Microsoft will pay $20 million in fines after being found to have been collecting and holding information on children using Xbox without proper parental consent. Yikes! Jesus, what are you guys doing over there? Relax. My God. Well, there you go. Microsoft, Mr. Good Guy, right? Microsoft cares so much. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sure. I'm not surprised. Of course Microsoft has been collecting data on children on Xbox, because why not? They're Microsoft. Where's that money going, though? Damn, man. Not a good look for Xbox. You know what? I'll bet you though. I bet you Sony's probably doing something similar. You know, I bet you don't all these companies do this? They all collect data. You know? I don't trust any of them. Like they give you a question where it's like, will you allow us to collect your data? I bet you they're still collecting your data even when you choose no. I bet you they are. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, dude, we these days your phones are listening to you, man. Invincible B, you're saying Microsoft hasn't delivered in a long time. The fact that they just might this time is as you're saying, what feels off. I think that's what you meant to say. All those games didn't get canceled, just delayed. And yes, like I understand that. And like I'm saying, the most important thing for people to not do is walk away from this stream thinking, well, MBG just clearly wants Xbox to fail. Like, dude, don't get me wrong. If Xbox's showcase fails, well, that doesn't hurt me. I mean, I think that sucks, but if anything, like, dude, you know, people on my channel are gonna be like, Xbox did it again. You know, it's like, yeah, of course they did, you know, but if they succeed, it's just, I would be surprised. I really, really would. I mean, I sincerely mean that. I would genuinely be surprised because I would think like, God damn, dude, like, how long has it been? How long has it been? And it finally happened. It would be quite shocking. And that's why I realized, like, I don't believe that that's going to happen. Yeah, by the way, I did. But I get it, man. You're saying all those games didn't get canceled, just delayed. It's like we talk about Fable, right? It's like we talk about Fable. You know what I mean? You're saying MBG's never playing a Blizzard game again. Damage is done. Yeah, I don't. That's the thing is, I rarely interacted with Blizzard or Activision Blizzard games in general. I never actually went out of my way to avoid them. It's just I never viewed Activision Blizzard. Like I get why people love Blizzard. I never played Overwatch. I don't care about Overwatch. Like I'm not into World of Warcraft. I see people like going nuts over Diablo, and it's just like, sure, somebody might say like, do you play games? Like, of course I do. But a lot of these games, I've actually noticed over the years that I have a lot less experience with Western games than you would think, than even I would have thought. That's just the reality of it. Again, not going out of my way. It's just, that's just how it is, man. And we got Corey Landiga, legendary Landiga, coming in with 5 memberships, keeping it going today, man. Bringing us up to 31. Let's get some W's in the chat for Corey. I didn't even know you were here, man. Sorry I missed your entrance. I appreciate it, dude. Let's get some W's in the chat for Corey, for Exley, and for everybody else. Hellbound. These guys have continually shown their support on the channel here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Love to see it.
You're breathtaking.
Keeping that membership train going strong. And Hellbound comes in, bro. Hellbound coming in, keeping it going. Love to see it, man. Love to see it. You guys are keeping this thing going today. Keeping it up in the air. Hellbound 1981 drops another 5. We need more W's in the chat. We need more W's in the chat. Arnold's going crazy for these memberships. We got a membership. We got an Arnold membership train going. Oh, by the way, there is like an Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary that I think is dropping tomorrow on Netflix. I'm going to watch it. You guys should watch it. Do it. Do it now. Go watch it. This should be pretty good. But thank you, Hellbound. Thank you, Corey. That brings us up to 36 on the day, guys. I now have to update our member goal. I have to update this. Put it up to 50 now. All right. We're good to go. We're good to go. Love to see the support, guys. Really appreciate it. Keeping this channel going strong. Keeping the community strong. You're saying he already has that new movie on Netflix? No, he has a new show. I think it's called Fubar. I watched it. It was okay. It was okay. It was a little cringe, but he has a new show. But they actually have a full blown like Netflix documentary that they're putting out for him too. And here comes Corey doing his thing, man. Legendary Landiga dropping a 10 bomb on us. Dropping a 10 bomb today. Corey's doing it, bro. And Austin Kays is following that up, dude. 15 memberships gifted just like that. Austin Kays with a 5 as well. Thank you, Austin. I want to give a shout out. I want to give a little shout out here to Austin because I've noticed you've been like, I think you may have gifted a couple in the past, but today you're really putting in some work, man. So shout out to you. Let's get some W's in the chat for Corey doing his thing again. Austin, you guys are inspiring each other, paying it forward. Love to see it, man. Love to see that type of support. The generosity is incredible. That dude, we crushed it. I just updated the goal and you guys crushed it, man. You crushed it. We're at 51 now. I got to update it again. Not a problem, man. That's a good problem to have. Love to see it, guys. Let me give you some of those sound bites. You earned it. We'll give you a little Mark Cerny there.
To rely on teraflops as an absolute indicator of performance.
What are we at now? I think we're at 51, man. I do want to make sure I read the rest of these super chats. I apologize for keeping you guys waiting. I appreciate you being patient. It's been a pretty unhinged stream today, hasn't it? I don't know. Has it been unhinged? I don't think it's unhinged. I think maybe it is. It's fine if it's unhinged. To me, unhinged just means energetic. That's all that means. All right, let me see here. So thank you for the super chat, Invincible Bill. RU46 N2 Ray. You're saying we need MBG to dry scoop pre-workout live stream. That would be epic. Yeah, for the next Sony showcase, dry scoop some pre-workout during the stream. I don't think I could do that, man. I don't think I can do that. I've never done something like that, and I'm certain I would probably choke to death. Like I'd probably die on stream. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I get why some people would risk doing that, but I don't feel confident in myself, man. There's no way I could dry scoop a pre-workout. There's no way. Snort it. Yeah. I don't think I could do that either because YouTube will definitely think I'm snorting something else and not not a pre-workout. And I couldn't blame them either. I couldn't blame them. So thank you for that, Ray. Perfect Image, you're saying put a poll for games from good to worst. You're saying you would need an F in finish and good game. Saying rant, bro, keep F in 1000. Perfect Image. I do not know if you do this purposely to me, man, but I swear every time I love the super chats, but man, reading your super chat sometimes feels like I'm trying to decode a puzzle here, man. Like some kind of, it's like an enigma. You're saying, MBG, you a good YouTuber. Well, I appreciate that, man. I totally understand the last part of that super chat. You're saying, MBG, you're a good YouTuber, man. Thank you. Thank you. I very much appreciate that, Perfect Image. I appreciate the support. Mong004, you're saying you being you is fine. Sometimes I get confused by you, but so long as you're consistent, that can be respected. Just keep it factual. Yeah, that's the thing, man, is like, I just need to learn to compartmentalize better, right? Like, I need to learn to list the facts and say, this is a fact. And then here are my opinions on those facts. And that's that. And I think sometimes the two get mixed up. And I don't blame anybody for being confused. I get confused myself sometimes, man. You know, life is a journey. We're all going through this journey and we don't necessarily have answers, do we? We have to come to our own conclusions. So I guess you could say that that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. And some of you are just bearing witness to it live. So I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. New Soul 9, you're saying, I respect your conviction, MBG. I try my best to make you see differently. And I appreciate it, New Soul 9. I appreciate it. Like, I know New Soul 9 gets some hate up in here. I know. Because he's going against the grain, but I respect that. You know, I do. And I also respect the fact that we're basically willing to just settle on a ground where it's like, hey man, I see things one way, you see them the other. We're willing to converse about it and go back and forth. And at the end of the day, we're willing to just agree to disagree, and and it's perfectly fine like that. I think that's cool. I think we need more of that in the world. Generally, we do. So I appreciate it, New Soul 9. GTV, you're saying, when do you think Guerrilla will make a new IP? That's a great question. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen until like halfway through the PlayStation 6 generation, if ever. I mean, I do think Guerrilla will eventually make a new IP. At least I would hope to God that they do at some point. I hope that for all of Sony Studios. But it might come. The reason why I say it'll probably be halfway through the PlayStation 6 generation is simple. It's because they confirmed that they have a multiplayer Horizon game that they're working on, and they are already working on Horizon 3. Now, Horizon 3, the soonest it could come out is at the end of the PS5 generation. And if that happens, then that's why I'm saying like the middle of the PS6 generation is probably when we'll get another single player game from Guerrilla. However, they might not ever make a new. I don't know, man. I don't know what Guerrilla's going to do. All I know is that in the immediate future, not even the immediate future, pretty much for the remainder of this generation, it's guaranteed from Guerrilla, we are getting more Horizon. We're getting Horizon multiplayer. We're getting Horizon 3. And if they do start work on a new IP, it would be, at least at this moment in time, it would be kind of surprising. But I definitely don't want to see Guerrilla just be locked into being the Horizon studio forever. That would be disappointing to me. As much as I do enjoy Horizon, it's not my favorite PlayStation franchise. And I like a lot of what they do with it, but I would just love to see Guerrilla start to go in like a new direction at some point, you know? Saying Horizon 3 will probably be the last one. Yeah, to me that makes sense. It does. Like, I feel like Horizon is set up to be a trilogy, and then they can kind of end it properly. And they could probably in the future come back with Horizon 4, but I think in between that they should try to do something new. I think everybody would welcome that. So good question, GTV. And Top Shotta, you're saying, why do people think they are hurting Microsoft when they buy their games on PC? The Windows platform belongs to Microsoft. Even Sony needs a license and tools from Microsoft to release their games on PC. I don't know. I don't know why people think that. I don't know that many people do think that, but it wouldn't surprise me if just some people do. But that's the truth, man. Microsoft is PC. They are. They are the PC platform. They're Windows, and some would argue that PC has pretty much been prioritized over the console, which I guess kind of makes sense, again, considering it's Microsoft. But at the same time, like, yeah, I don't think anybody could walk away from people buying Microsoft's games on PC saying that's hurting Microsoft. You could say it's hurting the console, maybe, because, you know, if more people decide we're just going to buy our games on PC and not the console, then technically, yeah, that could, in a way, hurt console sales, because every Microsoft game goes to PC day one. And we have Austin Kays coming in, man. coming in with another membership gift, just making sure that this train doesn't stop today. Bring us up to 52 members. Austin, dude, thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate you keeping it going, bud. Give you a little Arnold laugh. You've earned that Arnold laugh, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate all that support. MBG, the CMA boss just said that only 1% of mergers per year get prohibited in the UK, and that they will not accept Microsoft's plan for continuing regulation. The CMA stands by their decision. I'm not surprised. Is that like breaking news? Did that just come out? I'm not surprised. I don't see the CMA reversing their decision. I think, to me, that's obvious, right? Because like Microsoft is preparing. Microsoft is preparing to close this deal regardless of what's going on. My God, what is going on? Is Twitter broken? Okay, so check this out. PlayStation 5, this news just came out. PlayStation 5 sales in 2023 are up 81% year over year. Nintendo Switch sales are down 8% year over year, and Xbox Series X and S sales are down 19% year over year. Holy shit, dude. That's wow. Microsoft, dude, I don't care what anybody says. Microsoft is struggling in the console sector, man. I think it's obvious why they are. I think it's simply because they haven't had games. And that's it. It's literally just that. Like, this is why people say, we talk about like, oh, well, do exclusives matter? Like, look, man, we could get into that conversation, but one thing I think we can all agree on, like, this is just whittling it down to just a simple fact. Exclusives sell consoles. Games that are exclusive to consoles will sell that console. Period. End of discussion. Right? And by exclusives, I'm talking about games that, like, if you want a game on console, you can only get on that console. So, for example, I know that Microsoft releases their games day and date on PC. But what I'm saying is that, if Microsoft announces at their showcase, Hellblade 2 is coming out this year in November, that's going to sell consoles. It will. Because, especially Hellblade, a lot of PlayStation people, maybe not a lot, but certainly some, they'll see a game like Hellblade and they'll be like, that's exactly what I want. A single player, narrative driven, cutting edge, graphically speaking, looking game. I think some people would go out and be like, I'm going to go buy a Series S or a Series X. You're saying Hellblade isn't a system seller? How not, though? How can it not be a system seller? See, that would be a problem, Wrestling Mark. That would be a problem, in my opinion. Because Microsoft and Ninja Theory have had years, literal years, to get that game to become a system seller. It has to, how could Hellblade 2 not be a system seller? I don't understand that, because I understand people are going to say, but Hellblade 1, but we're not talking about Hellblade 1. We're talking about the bigger, better AAA sequel. That's what Hellblade 2 is. At least that's what it's supposed to be. It has to be if Hellblade 2 isn't a system seller, I mean, I know Starfield will be a system seller, but goddamn, Hellblade has to be a system seller. That would be crazy if it didn't move games or systems, man. I mean, I'm not saying it'll just suddenly make Xbox catch up to PlayStation. I don't think any single game could do that for Microsoft at this point in time, but I'm telling you, man, you look at data like that, Xbox console sales are down almost 20% year over year. People are not buying these consoles. Why is that? It's obvious. They haven't been releasing games. And the games that they have been releasing, looking at Redfall, not to keep bringing it up, but it's just the truth, man. If anything, unfortunately, I noticed that Redfall got people to sell their Xbox consoles, which is insanity. Like, that is utter insanity to me. Anderson, you're saying sorry, MBG, but no. Hellblade is a niche. Really? You think so? I don't know. I guess it's just because it's like the way I look at it is people look at Sony's games as system sellers, right? Like, well, yeah, I don't know. I guess to a degree you're right. The difference between Hellblade and something like God of War and Horizon and Spider-Man is Hellblade doesn't have that. It's not like a name, you know what I mean? It's not like a well-known name. It's not a household name. So, maybe you guys are right, actually, the more I think about it. You might be right about that. I guess I don't know. I guess it's just the perspective I see it from is Microsoft has had many years to make Hellblade like a really special game, you know, to where it's like I know that right now I know that right now Hellblade is not like a household name, but that's the point is like if they come out and show like a full gameplay demo at their showcase with a release date, if it looks good enough and exciting enough, like how did Gears become a household name? How did Halo become a household name? You know what I mean? How did these IPs like get to the next level? That's how they had to start somewhere. They had to start somewhere. So that's why I feel like, you know, I don't know, man. The way you're talking about it, it's almost making it sound like people are gonna walk away from Hellblade 2 being like, yeah, it's kind of mid, and I'll be like, wait, hold on now, like, no way, it can't be. Saying it'll be a Game Pass seller? Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with that. Didn't Hellblade come out on PlayStation first? I think it did, ironically enough. I think it did. Lancelot C, you're saying MBG, you might have slap. You might have slap. You might have sleep apnea, feeling restless and tired after sleep. As for the water thing, I agree. Too much water feels weird. Yeah, I've wondered if I have sleep apnea. I think my mother has that. If you have sleep apnea, don't you snore? Like, isn't that like the telltale sign that you have sleep apnea? I think I snore a little bit, but I think that's because my sinuses are congested. Unless that is actually what causes sleep apnea. I'm not entirely sure, but my wife tells me I only snore sometimes and it's not loud. You think that's what it could be? And all right, well, how many pillows do you guys sleep with? Like, I sleep with one pillow under my head, and I'm just laying like pretty much completely flat. So I don't know. Maybe I should try sleeping with two pillows. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure that I'd have to go get a sleep study done or something. Sleep paralysis, anyone? Sleep paralysis is very scary. Evil MBG be like one pillow. You sleep with 6 pillows? No joke. Holy shit. 6 pillows. I'm assuming not all of those pillows are underneath your head, bro. Or maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe you sleep like with your back against the wall. I know people who have like really, really bad acid reflux. You basically have to practically sleep like, you know, tilted straight up, or on a slant. That sucks. Yeah, you're saying that's why. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I notice as I'm getting older, I get some bouts of acid reflux as well. I think I'm gonna have to. I would probably benefit from sleeping with at least 2 pillows. It's just really hard. I'm so used to sleeping with just one pillow. You know, anytime I try to add a pillow, I'm like restless. I'm like this doesn't feel right to me. You know what's really weird to me? People who sleep with no pillows. Now that to me is kind of crazy. How do you sleep with no pillows? That seems yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do that. Impossible. Barfing at 3 a.m. is not fun. Hell no, dude. You know what? Actually, dude, that reminds me. A couple weeks ago, speaking of sleeping flat, like completely flat with one pillow, I woke up. I don't think this was acid reflux, dude. I'm pretty sure like a spider. I swallowed a spider or something in my sleep because I literally woke up choking. Like I woke up choking on something, and I wasn't like totally panicked because I was like still half asleep, but I was like aware, and I'm like, why the fuck am I choking, dude? And I had to like get up, like run to the bathroom to like. It felt like I had to spit something out. Nothing came out. I'm like, what the fuck was that, man? And that's terrifying to me. Like, dude, that's a terrifying notion that like, oh, how did he die? I don't know. We'll have to find out in the autopsy. Yeah, dude he choked on a spider in his sleep. Like, what the fuck? Like, somebody died like that, man. Probably not even just somebody, multiple people throughout human history have died that way. And that is horrifying. That is horrifying to think, bro. But yeah, that was really weird. Because I at first I thought like, oh, am I having bad acid reflux? But then I'm like, dude, I've had acid reflux. I've never woke up choking like that. And it is, we are approaching summer, and now all the bugs are starting to come out and stuff. And I'm like, uh-oh. Shelly says, I don't want to die before factions. Yeah, I don't want you to either. Hopefully not, man. Hopefully not. Acid reflux can get severe. You know what I've actually had before? Has anybody here ever had a stomach ulcer? Has anybody experienced that? Now that I had, there was one time in particular I had a bad stomach ulcer, and oh Lord, the level of acid reflux that I was experiencing, I'm not the type of person to just go to medication, but it was so severe, I had to just go to medication temporarily because I'm like, oh my God, I can't, like, this is unbearable. And it was very painful. And it was not fun, dude. It was not fun. Stop eating all kinds of seed oils. Yeah, they're not really. I try to stick to olive oil and coconut oil, like extra virgin, unrefined coconut oil. But I won't lie, like I'm not like, my diet to a large degree is just trash. Like I try to incorporate healthy things, but it's completely offset by garbage that I eat. But avocado oils, yeah, that's the good stuff, man. You know what's weird about stomach ulcers? You're saying your grandfather died from that? Holy shit. Sorry to hear that, man. That's crazy. My father, he had bad stomach ulcers. He had them real bad. But you know what I've heard about stomach ulcers, which is fascinating to me? Apparently there's like a correlation between stress and peptic ulcers. And there seems to be a certain amount of evidence that points to basically if you're a super stressed person, you're really, really susceptible to getting peptic ulcers, which makes sense because when I think back to when I had that, I was very stressed out at that time. Jay comes in saying, what are we talking about? We're talking about how Microsoft gives me ulcers, bro. That's what we're talking about. No, we're just talking about ulcers. 70% of our bodily issues will be amplified dramatically with stress. That I believe, man. Stress and anxiety. Dude, yeah, mental health is everything. I mean, you need your body, obviously. You need your physical health, but the mind is so, so powerful. You know, like some of the craziest stories I've ever heard, the placebo stories, right? Like these stories where you give you have two groups of people, you know, you give one group steroids for a cycle and you make them lift weights and then you measure their progress. The second group, you give water pills and you tell them they're steroids and you measure their progress. And the people who are on the water pills are making gains just as effectively, if not in some cases even more effectively than those who are actually on the steroids because they believe, dude, they straight up believe that I'm on roids, bro. Now, obviously there's a lot that could go into that, but like, is it because the fact that they think they're on roids, they're doing more work? You know, they're putting more effort in? Yeah, possibly. But it really is. It just goes to show, man, like the power of the mind. All right. Let me make sure I want to make sure I get to these super chats. I feel bad. I keep going on these like side tangents here. But where did I leave off? So Lancelot, I appreciate that, man. I hope I don't have sleep apnea. Josh, you're saying, do you also find it weird how a lot of games in the PlayStation Showcase were announced to release in 2023, but we are already in June? Not just PlayStation games, though. Absolutely. That's why, like, when people say, I think Sony's definitely going to do another show this year, it's easy for me to believe that. It is. I'm not saying I'm like getting behind it, meaning like absolutely 100%, let's get hyped. But I'm just saying it makes total sense that Sony would do a second show because yes, they only showed, I think, I can't even say 3 games. Like the only games that they really showed that are coming from PlayStation that are not coming this year, only one of them was labeled for 2024, and the other 2, it's just like, who knows? They really, like, again, I've said this many times, and I'll say it again in response to your super chat. They did not give a roadmap for 2024. And that's why I'm saying it's really difficult for me to be super upset with Sony, because it's like, the reality is, like, dude, Sony's dropping games this year, man. Like, they have 3 games that I'm excited to play on their platform. Final Fantasy 16, Helldivers 2, and hell yeah, Spider-Man 2. That's pretty damn good, I would say. Maybe I've seen some people saying that's not enough, and I'm like, bro, what? I guess if you're not interested in those games, but to me, that's a great way to end this year, considering there's only, we only have half a year left. That's a great way to end the year. However, that doesn't change the fact that when we turn over from December 2023 to January 2024, we have nothing. Nothing. We can speculate, maybe Wolverine. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Well, I mean, the only game technically we have is Concord. People might say factions, but do we really know that? No, we don't. We were sure that we were going to get a factions reveal, and look at how that turned out. So we do not have a roadmap for 2024. That is just a fact. And look, somebody might say, well, maybe Sony will do like another show early next year, like in February. Yeah, they could. Sony could do one whenever they want. But I'm just saying that it would not surprise me at all. What about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? Yeah, I mean, that's not Sony first party, but that's scheduled for apparently early 2024, winter. So, I don't know, man. Like, Summer Game Fest is coming. Vince M, you're saying we need Xbox to do it so it can send a clear message to Sony to end the silence of the lamb strategy and keep Sony on their toes. Yes, I've said that too. And that's me being very optimistic. Like, I said that multiple times yesterday where I was like, I need Xbox to have a good show because we need Sony to wake up. But that's where I'll be honest with you, like, I pumped the brakes on that a little bit because I realized that, you know what, though? It's not like it's not that I feel like, oh, now I don't want Xbox to have a good show. No, I do. I ultimately want Xbox to have a decent show, hopefully a good show. However, I really do believe that Sony is paying close attention to Microsoft, but I don't think they're going to react to them in the way that we might think they will. Do you know why I say this? And this is very important. And I did mention this yesterday. It's about market share, and it's about how, like, Sony is going to look at the numbers. That's what they're going to look at. And that's why I am ultimately deep down rooting for Microsoft, even though I have no confidence in them. I still simply don't, man. I just can't. But I am rooting for them because if they can start moving units, if they can start getting those numbers up, Sony is going to pay attention to that. They're going to be like, oh. It may not hurt PlayStation 5 sales, but it will catch Sony's attention. And so there's no denying that. It's just that it's crazy to think that the reason why I don't think Sony's very worried at all, like I am actually even questioning if Xbox has a great show, I'm even questioning if Sony's going to really care that much, simply because PS5s are selling like crazy. They have a big AAA game releasing almost immediately after the Xbox showcase exclusively on their console, and they have what's going to be the best-selling game probably for PlayStation ever, potentially coming out at the end of this year in Spider-Man 2. You see why I'm saying like it? I think we could see a scenario where Xbox has a great showcase and they actually have great games, and everybody's like, "Whoa, they did it, man! This is great. They finally did it." And then Sony's just like, "Okay, but we're just still gonna kind of go at our own pace." You know what I mean? And that's where I had to slow my roll a little bit. I had to slow because I was talking as if Xbox has a great show, then Sony's just gonna come out and uppercut them. It's like no, that's not what's gonna happen. If Xbox has a great show and Sony does decide to do another showcase, it still won't be till literally months later. So that's where I realized, okay, well, I want the competition. I want Sony to pay attention, but I can't deny the reality that Sony's doing great. They're doing better than great. They're still breaking records. They're on fire, man. And it just seems like that fire's not dying out anytime soon. So, yeah. I know. I know sometimes I talk about Xbox and PlayStation like they're really butting heads. And I still do believe they very much pay attention to one another. But I think I just sometimes struggle in accepting the fact that, dude, Sony, they're just on another level. And that's not where Microsoft is. And that's, even if Microsoft gets to that next level, it's going to be a while from now. Like, it's not going to happen overnight. And in between that, like as Microsoft is beginning to get to that level, Sony's still going to keep climbing in their own way at their own pace. And like, oh, well, okay. So things are a little bit more off balance than I think I want to accept. Shelly, you're saying check your YouTube. Oops, your thing just disappeared. Check your YouTube community chats comments. It's the post 5 days ago where you thanked us. Please look at it. A different perspective, but about Sony Live games. All right, Shelly, I'll see if I can go check that in a minute here. I want to make sure I catch up with these super chats. Aaron Yogurt, you're saying Sony better buy Capcom. Street Fighter 6 is something else. Yeah, dude, from what... Okay, so can we just talk about Street Fighter 6 character creation? Wow, I love it. Like, I haven't played the game, but I have been seeing the absolute abominations that have been created by people, and apparently... I don't know if this is true, but I've been seeing this go around. Apparently, Capcom like lets people name their characters whatever they want. And yes, I mean, we're talking about getting into some of the like craziest shit that you would think like, how is that allowed? Like, how is that person allowed to be named that? Like, I saw something on Twitter. I absolutely cannot talk about it here because it's that bad, but it was insane, man. It was absolutely insane. And, you're saying it will change. Yeah, they probably, do you know they're going to change that? But I got to admit, man, like it is some of the funniest shit I've seen in a while. Like these character creations and just the things that people are going for. It's a sight to behold. That's for sure. However, yes, dude, Street Fighter 6 is apparently on fire, man. Like it makes me wonder, is Tekken 8 and Mortal Kombat 1, like, man, they have some serious competition right now, dude. I don't know. It's great though. It's a great time to be a fighting game fan. It really is. I might get Street Fighter 6. I might, and try it out with my wife because she's a big fan of Street Fighter and she was asking about it. So I think I might end up getting it. I'll probably wait a little bit but I think I'm going to end up getting it. But yeah, one of the reasons I am actually excited for Summer Game Fest though is to finally see that Mortal Kombat gameplay. Ed Boon and Jeff Keighley seem to really be teasing that. You're saying you heard it's really beginner friendly. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Capcom's on fire, man. Rashdan V2, you're saying despite being down, it's selling better than the One and the 360. Is that true? You're saying that the Xbox Series X is still selling better than the One and 3. I think I can believe that. I think I can believe that. I have to imagine though, and I'm not being rude about this. I'm just saying, looking at the data, if I had to guess, it's probably not selling better by very much. Like I imagine it's probably just slightly selling better. Still good for sure, but that would be my guess. Omen86, you're saying we know for a fact that Sony Studios are developing multiple AAA first-party games. It's just a matter of time. The ABK deal isn't done. Holding back. So somebody left a comment, and I thought this comment was interesting because they were like, look, this whole idea that Sony is holding back showing games because of the ABK deal, these regulatory bodies, at least the CMA, they're blocking this because of cloud gaming, not because of games that Sony may or may not reveal at a showcase or at any time. Now, that I think is true, but keep in mind, I theorized this yesterday, and I don't mean to repeat myself, but it's in the case of answering a super chat here. What I said yesterday is that what's more likely, and dude, what I just said about Sony being on another level, like Sony being on top and breaking records, and like that seems to not, it's not slowing down and it's not stopping anytime soon, seemingly. If anything, my theory, well, it's not just my theory, it is a theory that people have been floating. Sony is just simply saving it for when they actually need it. Like, it really is just like when they're putting stuff together and it's like you go to your team. Like, let me put it to you this way. If Sony felt pressured by anything, like let's just say Microsoft, because I'm not sure what else they would feel pressured by. Or maybe you know what? Maybe PS5 sales were really starting to slow down and Sony's just beginning to lose momentum. And that's reflected in their earnings report. I firmly believe that they would go to one of their studios, like let's just say Sony Santa Monica, you know, like a month before the showcase, and let them know, like, we need you to get something ready because we need to announce this game. Like, we have to announce it. Even if it's just a short CG trailer, we need it. I think Sony would do that if they actually felt like they needed it. But I also think that it goes the other way around, right? Where it's like, if you don't need it and everything's just going perfectly fine and you're still on top, breaking records, selling more consoles than you ever have, why would you go to your studios and say, we need this, 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 and that ready to go? You'd probably just say, keep working hard. And, you know, when we need to show off your game, or when you're close to when you hit a milestone, let us know, or something like that. You know what I mean? Saying Demon's Souls was polished for a year before release. Exactly. That is true. I remember reading about that. And that is a great example of Sony purposely sat on that. You know, they had to, but it made sense to. This is why it's like, that's why I was so confused at first, because I know all these games that Sony has in development. I know that they have all of this content, all of these studios, and yet we just saw so little of it, pretty much none of it, except for the few live service games from the new studios. And to me, it's like when you start to take a step back, again, see the bigger picture and read between the lines, you can clearly begin to see that, look, it's not necessarily that these games are ready to go, but it's just clearly Sony doesn't feel the urge to, we don't have to come out here and show you this now. We just literally don't. I'm just noticing that a message was a super chat by New Soul 9 was deleted by Pragmaticat. What's going on there, man? What happened? Pragmaticat, why'd you do that, man? I mean, I need an explanation. Space Gambler Jr. saying you didn't even see it. Well, I have like a bunch of super chats here from. Hold on. I still have his super chat though. I still have New Soul 9 super chat. Pragmatic Cat, you're saying sorry. I don't know if it was because I think it may have been an accident. I don't know because the super chat's still here, and yeah, I don't see anything wrong with the chat. I'm assuming it was like an accidental thing because I'll read it. It's New Soul 9 says. I guess he was saying this to Space Gambler. He says, I don't mind giving MBG my money. I like him and want to support him, even though I disagree with him at times. Yeah, so I have to just assume that was an accidental thing because, yeah, that's a completely harmless super chat. So no worries there. I still got your super chat, New Soul 9. And actually, I'll read yours now. You're saying, MBG, I don't know about that. As long as you give the individuals the choice to avoid a $300 or $500 console, they'll take that choice. Game Pass will prevent consoles from selling. That's why I agreed with Phil about it doesn't matter how many great games we make. It's not going to help us win the console market specifically due to how they are running their business. And you know what? Yeah, so I have to agree with you, New Soul 9, that I overlook this point way too frequently, like almost every time. It's just it's a blind spot of mine. But and I guess it's just because I don't know, the thought just doesn't cross my mind where you're correct in that Game Pass alone is likely the thing that's most responsible for preventing at least a good chunk of people from buying an Xbox console. Because the fact that Game Pass is not only on your computer, now it's going to be on certain smart TVs, tablets, and it'll probably just continue to roll out. I do forget that. Like, you're right. I do forget that that's going to make somebody probably just think that, because even me, like, even I was just saying it, how, like, if I see a game at the showcase that I like, am I just going to buy an Xbox controller and hook it up to my PC and use that and subscribe to Game Pass on PC to play it? And I'm a console enthusiast. You know what I mean? So if it's got, you're right. It's a great point, New Soul 9, and I think it's absolutely true. I guess all I mean to say is that I do believe that if Microsoft puts out good games consistently throughout the year, the DualSense is compatible with Game Pass. That's crazy. If they do that, I just think naturally it will begin to boost Xbox console sales. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might not boost them as much if Game Pass didn't exist and, you know, people couldn't get Game Pass on all these different devices. But but I do think that that's a great point you bring up. And yeah, it's just the truth, man. It is the truth. So, and sorry, there was one more super chat I didn't read from you, New Soul 9, and I appreciate the support, man. Like I said, I you super chat a lot, and you know, I do notice the support, and I know we're at odds, but I still appreciate it. You're saying again, you're saying Space Gambler. It's not that they don't care; it's more about that they are aware that Game Pass will prevent console sales, because you are giving the individual the choice to avoid it. Unlike Sony, they don't. Yeah, and that's true too. There, no matter what happens at the Xbox showcase, the fact remains that the business model that Microsoft is choosing to go with is very different from Sony's. The reality, the through line, what tethers Sony and Microsoft together, it just is the same thing it always has been. It's that, okay, like, so Microsoft wants you to subscribe to Game Pass. I mean, if Microsoft could get you to subscribe to Game Pass through your microwave, they would. They just want you to subscribe to Game Pass. Maybe they really don't care about the console in terms of sales. I think that's kind of obvious now. But the through line between Sony and Microsoft is whether you're trying to sell a $500, $300 console or a $10 subscription, you're going to need good content. You're going to need good quality games to do that. And that's what's so interesting to me about the whole Game Pass situation, is that it is fascinating to me that Microsoft is learning now. Maybe they always knew this. Like, maybe Microsoft always knew this, but if they did, it wasn't obvious to me. It seems like they're beginning to learn that, you know what? It doesn't matter how good of a deal our subscription service is. We need good games. Like, people are not just going to subscribe to it because it's cheap. Like, they are going to subscribe to it. Whether we're asking them for $70 or $10, the expectation is we hope you get, like, we want good games. And that's what's crazy to me. And you can clearly see why Sony is not willing to do that. You know what I mean? Because now that's Microsoft's only option. I firmly believe that if Microsoft did not get beat so badly by Sony during the PlayStation 4 generation, I'm convinced Microsoft would be doing the exact same thing Sony's doing right now, which is selling. I mean, they are still technically selling their games at $70, but that would be the only way people would get them, through the box and through a $70 purchase. And I firmly believe that the only reason Game Pass ever existed in the first place was because Microsoft had to think on their feet. Phil Spencer had to think on his feet and think, we're not selling games. We're struggling to sell consoles. Our competition is literally decimating us. What do we do? And that's the solution he came up with. So it's interesting to think about. It's just interesting to think that subscription service, console, $500, $10 a month, doesn't matter. People expect quality content. You know what I mean? So again, appreciate the super chats, New Soul 9. Tommy, you're saying, will you get an Xbox if Hellblade looks amazing? Well, I think the question should be, will I play Hellblade if Hellblade looks amazing? The answer to that is, yeah. I genuinely did enjoy Hellblade 1, man. That was a great game. I know not everybody agrees with that, but I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I thought it was very well done. I thought it was unique, the way they handled how they presented mental illness in somebody and, being kind of like schizophrenic. Very interesting to me. And I just enjoyed the puzzles. I didn't enjoy as much, but I enjoyed the gameplay. It was pretty basic, but it was fun, man. So Hellblade 2, right now, I'd say going into the Xbox showcase, the number one game that I'm excited to see is Hellblade 2, more than anything. Obviously, I want to see newer stuff. And like I said, I hope State of Decay 3 is there. I'm just not expecting it. But I fully expect Hellblade 2 to be there. And the question of whether I will buy an Xbox or not, the only reason I'm unsure about that is simply what I said. I have a gaming PC and I have a 4K monitor, so it's like, it is kind of tempting. Like, you're telling me I can even play with my DualSense on there. It is kind of tempting to just, okay, maybe I'll just subscribe to Game Pass and play it there. And that's what's, that to me is fascinating though. Like that right there is like, damn, Microsoft, you are doing it. You see? Because it's like that. Notice how I'm not saying I want to invest in the Xbox ecosystem. Ray, Ray has to head out. I'll catch you later, Ray. I appreciate you hanging out with us, man. That's what's interesting to me about it though, is that how, like, notice how what I just said, I didn't just say I'm going to heavily invest in the Xbox ecosystem. No, that's not what I actually said. The opposite. I just said I'm going to do the bare minimum. I'm going to buy an Xbox controller and subscribe to Game Pass to play this game, and probably unsubscribe from Game Pass when I'm done playing that game. That feels strange to me because that's just like not ever how I've engaged with Xbox before. Like the way I've engaged with Xbox in the past has been quite the opposite, where it's like I have always felt like I got to make an investment here. I gotta go buy the and that's the thing, is like a part of me does feel kind of strange where it's like, should I buy the console? Like, should I buy an Xbox to play one of these games, even if it's just like one game I'm looking forward to? I like a part of me that believes in that model feels like I should, like that. Like, if you believe in that model, go support that model. But I have to admit, like it does feel almost completely unnecessary, knowing that, but you could just do it this way too. And it's not bad, but it's just, yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I think Microsoft's goal, and I think Phil Spencer even admitted this, his goal is to get games releasing like quarter after quarter after quarter. Like every quarter they have a new game releasing that gets people into Game Pass and keeps them being subscribed to Game Pass. And I don't think Microsoft's going to do that for me ever. I don't. Like I will admit that I do not feel like I ever want to reinvest in the Xbox ecosystem in the way that I'm invested into the PlayStation ecosystem. And maybe that does prove what Phil said correct. I mean, maybe what I'm saying right now proves that when Phil said, like, we're not trying to out console Sony, maybe I'm a perfect example of that, because maybe I am the reason, like, and people like me, where it's like, yeah, dude, I bought a PS5. I got a collection of PS5 games that I'm continually growing. That's where I play. I play my multiplats. I play multiplayer games with my friends. I play my single player games. I play my Sony games. The only games I don't play are your games. And if you come out with a game that I want to play and it's not going to be on PlayStation, then I'm just going to seemingly, I'm not saying I'm going to do it this way. I'm just saying it's a real possibility that I'm just going to do the bare minimum to go experience that game. And then when I'm done, okay, now back to PlayStation. But I don't see how that's a viable option. Like, I don't see how that's you see, that's kind of the conundrum though, isn't it? Because if what I just said is true, and what I just said confirms or validates, I should say, Phil Spencer saying, yeah, we're not in the business of being the green version of what blue does or out consoling Sony. That, like, how is that supposed to work then? You know what I mean? Because if I'm pretty much telling Microsoft, like, I don't want to invest in your ecosystem, and I'm not going to, because I'm already over here. Is it just like, is Microsoft just going to be happy with, well, okay, but if we could just get some of your money sometimes, we'll be happy with that. Like, you know what I mean? Or is it Microsoft is hoping that people like me, I'll subscribe to Game Pass, I'll play Hellblade, and then when I'm finished, I'll just move on with my life and completely forget that I'm subscribed to Game Pass, and they just take money from me. You know what I mean? I don't know. It to me, it does seem like a little bit of a conundrum. I guess, I don't know. I guess, like, logically speaking, all it really comes down to is Phil Spencer probably has the mentality of, okay, I'm not trying to convince you to not play on your PlayStation and to not be invested in the PlayStation ecosystem. I'm just trying to convince you to invest a little bit in our ecosystem and just kind of keep your, just stay somewhat involved. Like, that makes more sense to me. But that still feels kind of like a losing mentality, doesn't it? All right, let me see. Kyle Film, thank you for the 10, man. You're saying, yes, the DualSense is compatible with many platforms, even the newest Apple VR Vision Pro thing. I don't know if you saw that, MBG. Sony is trying to make their accessories multi-platform like their monitor. I have noticed that, yeah. And speaking about the Apple AR Vision Pro thing, wow, somebody told me that, yesterday when it was being revealed, it was $1,500, and I still thought that was expensive, dude. Turns out it's $3,500. Like, who is gonna buy that? 3,500 US dollars. Like, what, man? That is wild. That is crazy. That's absurd. I don't know who's gonna buy that. But it is Apple, so maybe we'll be surprised at how many people buy it. But I have noticed that, dude. Sony is beginning to take more of a multi-platform approach with their accessories, and that's the thing. You know, I've gone on. I've had this conversation with you guys, and I know some people were a little bit perplexed by it because it just seems like I'm MBG once again making another U-turn here. Where I've talked about like exclusivity and how I just don't think it matters anymore. And I will admit that my problem is not what I'm communicating, it's how I'm choosing to communicate it. And you would think that by this point in time, I would be aware that I have to be a little bit more careful and nuanced in how I communicate things. It's not that exclusive games don't matter. They absolutely do matter. And even on an objective level, they literally matter because when a game is only available on one platform, that's going to matter to a lot of people. The reason for why it matters differs. Some person might say, I love the fact that this is exclusive because it gives my platform an identity. Another person might say, I don't care that this game's exclusive. I'm only here because this is the only place where I could play. But the point is it does make a difference, literally, objectively. However, I think what I was just trying to explain is that as I'm beginning to see Sony get more comfortable with spreading out a little bit more and doing things differently and, allowing games to go to PC, doing day and date for live service games on PC and clearly just positioning themselves to where, the console's the priority and we want to sell the console and that's going to be our main focus, but we're going to kind of like dip our toes in these other areas and get a feel for it and see what we can do there. I just think one of the problems that I personally have tethered myself to, and I think a lot of PlayStation fans have to a degree, is the marketing side of things with Sony and exclusivity, and that's where it's like, again, if we not to go down this alley again, but we'll just do it anyway. Reasons why a person would want to buy a PlayStation 5. It's a cheaper. When I say cheaper, it's an affordable, convenient piece of hardware that has games that are made specifically for it that over time go to PC. Okay? Like that's what the PS5 is. That's how Sony treats it. And that is a reason, probably the biggest reason, why somebody would buy it. Now, I just listed two big reasons there why somebody would buy a console. Number one, or three reasons actually. It's affordable compared to if you want to get like a high-end PC. Number two, it's convenient. It's plug and play. Number three, it has games made specifically for it that release first on it before anywhere else, usually by years. Now, when I describe it that way, I don't think anybody, I think if I give you that explanation, that makes it difficult for a person to turn around and say, but there's no reason to own a PS5. I just gave you three perfectly viable, logical, objective reasons to own a PS5, if that's why a person wants to own a PS5. So the conversation of there's no reason to own a PS5 doesn't exist. Based off of those three things alone. However, this is where somebody might say, well, I don't care. All of Sony's games need to just stay on the box and not go anywhere. And it's like, okay, well, at that point, I don't know that there's anything I or anybody else could say to you to convince you otherwise, because that is a very extremist mentality where I get it. Like, I understand where it comes from, but it just like no matter how much you feel that way, it doesn't matter. Like, this is how Sony's handling it. And if that's not good enough, if that's like not a good enough reason for you to care about owning a PS5, then And again, when I talk about the marketing, we get these buzzwords, and here's the thing though. Here's the thing. So like, let's just look at Ratchet and Clank one more time. All right. You see people coming out and saying, well, goddamn, Sony seemingly lied. What about that SSD? I thought that SSD was so powerful. And that's where it's like, yeah, I acknowledge that we went in too hard with the SSD talk, guys. We did. Sony went in too hard with the SSD marketing, and we fell for it, and we went in too hard for the SSD. However, here's the fact. This is just how it is, man. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart was developed for the PS5. Period. End of discussion. That's what it was developed for. And that's why it was on PS5 for 2 years. And then, somewhere along the way, another studio enters, that being Nixxes, and they say, okay, we're going to now work on this game and port it to PC to get it to function on PC. So does that damage PlayStation? No. Does it damage the marketing surrounding this specific PlayStation exclusive? Absolutely yes. Does it damage people who believed, or I guess bought into that marketing? Absolutely it does. You're saying MBG, you're wrong that SSD was the fastest at the time. Only for 3 weeks. Wait, is that true? Is that true? That's super funny if that's true. For 3 weeks. So the marketing was true for 3 weeks. We did it for 3 weeks. We didn't lie. You can't hold it against us. Digital Foundry saying then maybe setting to play with a hard drive. Yeah, I've seen people saying that. Like they want to see if Rift Apart can function with an HDD. Man, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Yeah, that would be a complete full-blown lie. Then, if you could play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on an HDD, holy shit, dude! Sony, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're saying you don't understand tech. I mean, yeah, I won't lie. I'm definitely not. I understand some of it, a little bit of it, but certainly not in the weeds with it. Yeah, a lot of that stuff's way over my head. But that's why I'm trying to look beyond that, right? That's why I'm just trying to think, okay, well, look, if somebody told me when Ratchet and Clank came out, hey man, 2 years from now, this game's going to launch on PC, I wouldn't care. You know what I mean? Like that would not make any I would have been like, okay, well then maybe I'm going to cool it on talking about whether or not this game is only possible on the PS5 and talking all about that, but I still would have bought the game and supported it because I was excited to play it. And it was a great game. And that's the thing is like more people are going to play it and they're going to enjoy it, man. More people are going to play it and enjoy it. And I'm curious to see how it performs as well because I don't know, Sony's been kind of hit or miss with their PC releases sales wise. You're saying your external SSD Firefox is probably faster than the internal SSD? Yeah, I feel like there has to be SSDs that are out now that are faster than the PS5s, right? Because it has been a couple years. But I'm just saying that I think there's no point in having that conversation. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because I know people are going to continue to try to have that conversation. What I'm trying to say is like, okay, maybe people can talk about the fact that the marketing around Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart in particular is like, oh, this is like a big PS5 game. But like, what about Spider-Man 2? Like, Spider-Man 2 is going to release on PC at some point, whether 2 years from now, 3 years. But that's why I'm saying, so to me, it's just now it's clear that a game like Spider-Man 2, it's exclusive to PS5. And the reason being is because it was developed first for PS5. And the reason for that is because Sony's planning to sell PS5s. And then once all that's done, like the PS5s are sold, the game is sold, it's been many years. Now Nixxes comes in, picks the game up, works on it, then we release it on PC. And that's rinse and repeat, basically. That's how it's done, man. And yeah, I to me that it makes complete sense why Sony would do it this way, because why wouldn't they? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people still say like, oh, Sony's going to do day and date, and they might, but my question is, why would they? Like literally, why would they? You know, there's no reason for them to do that. They're making good money off of these games going to PC. So yeah, it seems like they have a pretty, I don't want to say it's set in stone, but it seems like they have a pretty good thing going with the way they're balancing it, where we want to definitely leverage exclusivity to sell our console and push console sales. And we that's always been the business model with PlayStation, but now, we just want to rake in that extra money. And they're making good money to where they can, you know, they can now start taking good chunks of that money that they're making from these games selling on PC and start funneling that in to PlayStation Studios and new game development, which is great to see because that was the whole point of it, right? So I don't think I could be upset with that. I mean, I don't see how anybody could. So I appreciate that, Kyle. Domingo813, you're saying PS5 equals 9.9 pounds. How many PS5s can you bench? You lift, bro? I think I could bench probably, let's see. So probably 20 PS5, 20 to 25. No, maybe not 25, like 22, 23 PS5s. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. I think that sounds about right. Now I'm just imagining a barbell with literally PS5s just fucking smashed into it instead of plates. I don't think that would be my max either. I don't max out. I don't do that shit. Fuck that. I will snap something. I am that guy. I don't max out. But I could probably get a couple solid reps in. Let me see here. We got Zombie Dragon. You're saying Microsoft is playing the long. Give it like 5 or 10 years, and we'll probably all be playing something like Game Pass or whatever Sony comes up with. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, man. You talk about these different subscription service models. You talk about the future. I would like to sit here and speculate what the next 5 to 10 years is going to look like, but I'd rather not. I feel more comfortable just simply saying, I have no idea. The only thing I hope is that we get more dedicated PlayStation consoles and I can enjoy them. And that's it. That's it. That's all I would want, PlayStation 6, hopefully a PlayStation 7 eventually. But Zombie Dragon, you're probably right. I don't, again, I'd rather not speculate about it, but I will say that being open-minded about the future and the fact that anything can happen, I wouldn't be shocked. The only thing worse than the Xbox showcase is leg day. Damn, bro. New Soul 9, thank you again, man. Got a couple super chats here. You're saying, it makes me happy to see you seeing things differently, MBG. So are you going to agree with Phil now, LOL, when he said that? Don't get me wrong, MBG. Microsoft will still need to make good games to sell Game Pass. That's still a fact, and I agree with you on that. MBG, I'll be fair, though. If you care for specs or performance, then that is still a good reason to buy a console, because the cloud won't give you that. But the question we should ask, is that the vast majority? It's interesting. Well, first off, I'm glad we can agree on some things and disagree on some. But is that the vast majority? Like, would the vast majority... Well, it's interesting you should bring this up, because I did want to mention that Sony is not for the cloud right now, man. Like, Sony, their CEO came out, Kenichiro Yoshida, and he basically said that they're going to tackle certain challenges with cloud, and it's clear Sony's going to be heavily involved with the cloud. The reality for both Microsoft and Sony, I know I said I wasn't going to speculate on this, but let's just talk far future here, like many, 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 many years into the future. There will likely be a day where people are just playing games through the cloud. And who knows, we could all be wearing glasses that augment our reality and we're playing shit through the cloud, or it's being beamed to us, whatever, what the fuck ever. I'm just saying that the cloud, it's clear that native hardware, I think, will always be there. Like, I want to make that clear. I think native hardware will always be there, but I think the cloud is just something that it's still so early, and the future is still so, we see how technology can advance. That wouldn't shock me if that is truly the future. However, what is reassuring as a person who doesn't care for cloud gaming, at least certainly not right now, Sony, their CEO came out and said that cloud gaming, it still has quite a few technical challenges and limitations that they just don't see it being a viable market. And it's fascinating because some people have speculated that Sony just gave Microsoft ammunition against the CMA, because the CMA is saying that the cloud market, I don't know that I agree with that, but it is kind of ironic that Sony's basically coming out and being like, yeah, we don't know that the cloud market is even relevant right now. But maybe that's the whole point. The CMA is basically claiming that it's a emerging market. But this is reassuring to hear from Sony, because I originally had this stream titled, and I had to change the title because I think it was just a little bit confusing. Like, I don't think people really understood quite what I was trying to convey, and I get that. I originally titled the stream that Sony is avoiding a big mistake with PlayStation. Now, that just sounds weird the way I worded it, but basically what I'm saying is that Sony, them coming out and being smart enough to realize that cloud for now and for the foreseeable future has to be a supplementary thing to PlayStation. Because we could have somebody in charge at Sony, their CEO, basically saying, like, we have to go, like, we have to spearhead cloud, kind of like Google did, and they could ruin the whole thing. And that would suck. So if you're somebody who likes the Sony business model of dedicated hardware, and that being, here's the key word, the dedicated hardware being the priority, then this is good news. It's clear that Sony CEO still believes in the console and believes in dedicated hardware and believes in the business model that Sony has relied on with PlayStation and continues to rely on, and that anything they choose to do in cloud, it's not to overtake that or surpass that. It really is just about, because it's funny, because he even mentioned how, like, even cloud infrastructures right now, he was talking about, at least for gaming, where if like Sony were to convert all of their current PlayStation console owners to cloud gamers, it would, like, cause so many technical issues in terms of just, like, server crashes and latency, and people just not having a good time. That's fascinating to me, and it really does go to show that if cloud gaming is the future, we really are nowhere near that future. It's going to take many, many years, I think, to get to a point where the majority of PlayStation gamers are playing their games through the cloud. That's going to be, it kind of reminds me of, like, 4K and 8K, like, how everybody moved to 4K because what the difference between 1080p and 4K was so obvious that it's like, yeah, 4K is, like, so much better. And everybody wants 4K gaming. Everybody wants 4K screens, 4K shows, everything converted to 4K. But, like, 8K, it is better. And this is the difference between cloud and I know there's a difference. Cloud is not better, but 8K is better. And you probably can notice a slight improvement, but it's just like everybody has kind of settled on, yeah, but we're good. You know what I mean? Like, we're good. We're going to stick with 4K for the foreseeable future. And maybe one day 8K. Everybody will start making 8K content. Everybody will have 8K screens, but it's just no one really cares right now because it just doesn't make any sense. I feel like that's a good analogy to, like, that's kind of where we are right now, where people are good with dedicated hardware, whether that's PC or affordable consoles, and with improvements being made, with different iterations of those consoles and that hardware, but people aren't necessarily like out here being like, I really want cloud gaming now. Like, I want to see everybody convert to cloud gaming. It just doesn't make any sense right now. It just doesn't. One day it might, but not now. So it's interesting. It's interesting to think about that. Zanarkand Blitzer, thank you, man. You're saying MBG, as you are mainly a PlayStation gamer, and if a really great game is available on the Xbox Series X, you would play it. Starfield, maybe, is what you're asking. Does this also apply to Nintendo games too? Maybe, like me, you were waiting for the Switch too. It's a great question, and a fair question as well. Nintendo is a tough one, man. Nintendo is a tough one because the reason it's interesting because people seem to be in agreement that Nintendo makes great games. And I can't, like, yeah, I guess so. Everybody says they do. They don't seem to suffer from the problem that Microsoft does. It's just that my reason for not engaging with Nintendo is simply because for some reason, even though everybody tells me the games that they make are great, there's literally zero desire. I don't know why. Like there isn't like a specific reason. It doesn't do any, like, all right. I'm thinking about it. If I had to put my money on it, I think there's just this part of me, and I know some people might get offended by this, and I'm not trying to offend you, and because I don't mean it that way, but it's just almost like just a knee jerk reaction where I just feel like Nintendo is for kids, you know, and I know it's not. Like, I know it's not, but it's just my knee jerk reaction is, I don't know, that, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't register with me. You know, it doesn't register with me. But I know that these games are not just for kids. I know that for a fact. Now, I mean, I know some of them are. And Corey Landiga coming in. Dude, the legend does it again, man. The legend keeps it going, drops a 10 bomb. Let's get some W's in the chat for Corey. Thank you once again, man. Thank you once again. Still keeping the membership train going today. Brought us up to 62. 62 members on the day, man. That is very much appreciated. Corey does it again. There's a reason why he's called a legend around these parts. Love to see it, dude. Love to see it. You guys have shown incredible support today. And yeah, that's the thing, man. It's like, I don't feel comfortable using that as my reason. Like, oh, I don't play Nintendo games because they seem like kid games. Because it's like, I know that's not true. Like, I know everybody can play Nintendo games. They're for everybody. Most of them, right? I don't know why, man. I mean, you talk about waiting for the Switch 2. I will admit that I think a big factor in this, it might be the hardware. Because I'll be honest, like, I have not put deep thought into this. I haven't. But now that I'm like really sitting here thinking about it, it might be the hardware, dude. Not even the form factor. I think it might just literally be that I don't think I get excited about the idea of I'm gonna buy like a Switch right now, right? For a game, like to basically play on hardware that is so vastly inferior. Like, objectively speaking, like, I mean, it's unique hardware, but specification wise, like, it's so vastly inferior and actually, ironically enough, I do have some Switches. I think I have 2 Switches in the household. Although I don't think they're the what are the Switch? It's just the handheld one. Like, you can't do I forget what the Switch Lite. Is that what it's called? Because I remember. I don't know if I have 1 or 2. I gotta go. I know I have at least 1 in the house. This is my wife's, and yeah, the Switch Lite. Okay, and it's just like, you know, I just don't get it, man. I don't know what it is. I wish I could tell you, man. I wish I could tell you what it is. Like, I know people get excited for the Pokemon games, and I get it. You know, I used to play the Pokemon games, but I feel like I've just kind of grown out of it. And it's like Zelda. I'll tell you right now, man, like if I really think it just might be that. It might just be that when I look at the new Zelda game, I know gameplay is king, and there's no doubt about that. But I just can't seem to look past the fact that like this game, the art style is nice, but I could tell like dude, this looks like a last gen game and then some, you know, and that I think that's why my focus is when it comes to Nintendo, just what's their next move, dude? The last time I recall actually engaging with Nintendo in a meaningful way, personally, was with some party games. I think somebody had a Switch, and we were playing some Smash Bros, some Mario Party, and that stuff is, and Mario Kart, and that stuff's fun. And to me, that's kind of like the role that Zelda, or not Zelda, but Nintendo plays. I just never had a desire to be like, I'm gonna go buy a Switch and just sink into some of these Nintendo games. Saying never judge a game by its graphics. Yeah, you're probably right about that. I just think for now, where I am with Nintendo is let's see what they do next. I'm genuinely curious. Like, I have no doubt that the next, because like they came off of the Wii U, and the Wii U was a tragedy and nearly killed them. At least in the hardware space. And then they had a massive comeback with the Switch, and that's why I like made a joke before. I'm like, are they going to name the successor to the Switch U? Because it's like the Wii situation all over again, where they have a massive success, and they now have the pressure of how do we follow that up? And you know for a fact that they're going to do what they did with the Wii, which is we're going to do pretty much the same thing, but in this case with the Switch, I think they have a better chance of success. Like how they name it is going to be fascinating to me, and I'm just I'm at peace with the fact that I'm not interested in Nintendo. I respect Nintendo. I respect their place in the industry, and I have no problem with their games or anybody who enjoys their games. It's just not for me, simply put. However, I am open-minded enough to where, yeah, I am looking forward to seeing, the next Nintendo console revealed and seeing how games perform on it, what type of games they might have. And that's it, and I think that's just where I settle in with Nintendo right now. I think it's easier for me to just simply say if Xbox shows me a good game, I'll play it, because it's just Xbox feels more contemporary, like I'm expecting their games to have, hopefully, I mean, not all the time, but, more modern graphics. And, I'm playing it in a more traditional way with an Xbox controller. You know what I mean? It's not that much different from what I'm doing with the PlayStation 5, if that makes sense. So those are great questions, Narcan Blitzer, and I appreciate the super chat, man. Jeff B. Gaming, you're saying Sony didn't lie about the SSD. It's not the speed as much as 6 IO throughput, cracking compression that makes the PS5 so special. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I think what people have done is basically try to look at this scenario and basically say like, yeah, there's nothing unique about the PlayStation 5. It's like, that's not true. I mean, it's a custom console. There are unique aspects to it, and there's no denying that. Dude, you got to get away from that. I'm sorry, bud. There's no denying that Sony's developers have been able to benefit from some of these unique customizations, certainly much more so than multi-platform game developers. It's just that, people do not anticipate that, oh, well, if games are being custom made for the console, then that means they're never going to come to PC. I mean, I look at Final Fantasy 16 as a great example of that game is on the PS5, not because it can't run on anything else, but it's literally coming out on PS5 when it's coming out because of they were able to take advantage of the singular focused development environment of the PS5. And that's it. And there's only one specification they had to optimize for and develop for, and that's what they did. And then they're going to move on to PC. And it's interesting to me that they seem to be implying that moving Final Fantasy 16 over to PC might take up to a year, because they said that like the game's not going to launch on PC after 6 months. That's how long their deal is with Sony. They said it's not going to launch. They're going to need more time than that. And to me, that tells you all you need to know. And like, okay, well, there you go. You know, that it. You're saying that is because of a contract. No, listen, guys. I mean, unless the Yoshi P was lying, I don't know why people keep saying this. It's not because he literally said their contract is for 6 months. It is for 6 months, dude. And I think that if anything, look at Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. You know, like, why is it taking 2 years to get this? I don't know. I'm not saying that it took literally 2 years to port Ratchet and Clank. Obviously, Sony waited. I'm not saying Nixxes spent 2 years bringing Ratchet and Clank to PC. I'm just saying it takes time. It takes more time, literally more development time. It takes more development time, man. And, you know, to me, it seems like, look, man, there are certain benefits to just developing a singular game on the PS5. Just like there is to developing a singular game on any other piece of hardware. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that the PS5 is like some special, you know. Oh, was he up there? Was he up there? I didn't notice. I'm sure you guys noticed. I put the higher tier on the cat tower here, because when I first, he's trying to do something. When I first put it on there, he didn't want to go up there at all. He had to get more comfortable with it. Now he's comfortable with it, so I put the higher tier up, hoping he would use it. So I'm glad he was up there. But yeah, the PS5, it's a great kit, great piece of hardware. I don't think that there's anything like super overly special about it. I do think that there will be times where developers can try to do some unique and interesting things with it. But yeah. Oh, and Hellbound 1981, dude, thank you, man. Sorry, I almost missed it. We have Hellbound gifting another 5 memberships on the day. Are we going to do it? Guys, are we going to do it today? Are we going to hit 75 members? We might. We're pretty damn close now. We're at 67 members thanks to Hellbound. Guys, let's get some W's in the chat for Hellbound. You guys have kept this membership train going strong, so thank you for that. Very much appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat, Jeff B Gaming. Ian, I think, I don't know how to, I guess I'm pronouncing it right. You're saying new tech today is outdated tomorrow. It absolutely is, bro. Isn't that the truth? That is the truth these days. New tech today is outdated tomorrow. Bro, relax. All right, come on. I know. You have to come up. I know. He's relentless. And we got Corey once again doing heavy lifting out here. Corey Landiga coming in with another 5, bro, bringing it to 72. Who's going to bring it on home? Corey served it up for you. Thank you so much, man. That is awesome to see. Love to see it, man. I really appreciate the support, guys. Corey, man, you've gifted a lot today. Yeah, let's get a
You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking. Cat podcast, please. Half of my podcast is about the cat. Jakey Stee coming in, dude. Jakey Stee coming in with another membership gift. It's climbing. It's 2 away now, dude. 2 away. We're at 73. We're going to hit 75. I think we can. I absolutely think we can. I believe in this community. Boss believes in this community. Boss believes. Do it. He's like, what are you doing, man? Thank you, Jake. I appreciate that, man. You know, so I'm sure most of you know, but I do have another cat named Leia. She just like never uses the cat tree, and she never really comes over here. I know you guys know. You've seen them battling before, but she's kind of always doing her own thing. Zombie Dragon. Oh, you guys did it. You did it. You did it. We got Zombie Dragon and Maximilian Pegasus, and we got Hellbound and how do I say your name? Oh my god. Equansko. Oh, you're gonna have to tell me to say your name, man. This is a tough name to pronounce for me. And it's the first time I've seen you gifting. Equinox. So I don't know if I'm saying it. I apologize. Equinox, is that how you say it? Man, I'm really butchering it. Equinoxal. Okay. All right. There we go, man. MBG in his pronunciation is like like I'm really struggling over here, man. But thank you so much, Equinoxal. That's the first time I've seen you gift, but you guys brought it on home, man. We got Zombie Dragon, Maximilian Pegasus, 88, Equinoxal, and Hellbound 1981, all contributing to bring us up to 77. You guys crushed it, man. Corey, Exley, all you guys. And I know I've seen a couple of you today doing some single gifts, and I apologize that I don't have your name right in front of me. I wish YouTube would do that. I don't know. That's what's tough. I wish YouTube like actually just had it right in front of you, like all the people, like all the names of the people who gifted during a stream, because they're not like right there. And Jay Pierce keeping it going, man. Jay Pierce keeps this train going with another membership. Thank you so much, Jay. And Kyle Film choosing to become a member as well. Oh, love to see it, dude. Thank you so much for that, man. Thank you. The support is incredible, guys. We did it. Like, not only did we crush 75, we're at 79 now. You guys are incredible. Absolutely incredible. This community, man, blows my mind. It blows my mind. And here, dude, here comes Exley. Exley's like, I got to get in on this one too, man. Exley comes in with another 5. And Crucifixion right on top of that. For a total of 6 memberships gifted. Guys, we are crushing it today, man. We have 85 members. 85 new members on the day. Keeping it going, man. Again, I'll shout it out one more time just for, because, you know, some people may have missed this earlier. And yeah, let me get a couple of these in here.
You're all breathtaking.
I shouted it out earlier, but, well, it wasn't a shout out. It was a PSA. I'll let you guys know that Corey, I see you, bro. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. But he told me he wants me to pronounce it wrong. It's our agreement. Okay? So no worries, Corey. This is actually a purposeful mispronunciation. This is what we've agreed on. So no worries, dude. But yeah, I just want to let everybody know the next members only stream is going to happen this Saturday. I have it planned out. So, you know, for anybody who's already a member, for all those newly gifted, 85 members today, look forward to that, man. It's going to be a good time. And Kyle Film, speaking of that, thank you for becoming a member, but you have a super chat as well. And you said, you are right, MBG. I play Nintendo with my friends when my friends come over to my house. I love PlayStation way more, but most games I can only enjoy myself. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it's been for me. I cannot, the last time I like really seriously got into Nintendo deeply was during the Nintendo GameCube. And I was really into Nintendo at that time with the GameCube, with the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Advance SP, all that stuff. But after that, I don't know, man. They just lost me. I don't know why. They just lost me. And I think actually the reason why I was so, and it's crazy to me to think, I don't know why the hell I never got Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. Like, that blows my mind, man. What the hell was up with that? Because I don't know. I think during the time I had the GameCube, I was very heavily into the PlayStation 2. And when did Twin Snakes release? What year did that release? Because I might be misremembering things here. It was crazy, dude. I still can't believe that Twin Snakes was it 2003? Is that when it came out? 2002? Wow. Okay. You know what? I have no idea. Somebody's saying 2004. See, that's what I'm thinking. Like, didn't Metal Gear Solid 3 came out in 2004 for the PlayStation 2? Now I'm seeing more people confirm it was 2004. Well, that explains it, man. That explains why I didn't play it. I never knew that both of these games came out the same year. And I clearly just basically went with MGS3 on the PlayStation 2. That's what happened. Wow, that's what I never knew that. So I hear what you're saying, Kyle, and I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for the support today. Josh Z, you're saying what happened? What happened is that you abandoned your inner child, MBG. I'm 30 and I would sell my PlayStation before I would stop playing Nintendo games. You're probably right about that, man. I mean, I've always appreciated that about Nintendo. Like, I've never looked at it being a bad thing. Like, I know that, there's no denying that Nintendo is very appealing to kids and a younger audience, but I've never viewed that as a bad thing. And I've never viewed it as people who enjoy that as adults. Like, dude, hell yeah, we all need to stay in touch with our inner child, man. We do. Can't lose that whimsical nature. We need it. We need it. And we got Austin Case. Speaking of whimsical nature, we got Austin Case coming in, keeping the train going. You guys will not let it stop today. Bring us up to 86 members. 86 members. Now, look, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it needs to happen. You guys have shown more than enough support, so absolutely no pressure. But is this going to be a 100-member day? I don't know, man. We're pretty damn close. We're pretty damn close. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. But I'm going to update the goal for you guys so you can see where we're at. We are at, I believe, we're at 86. So let me get this done here. And I have a couple more super chats to read. Take care of those. Yeah, it's been a pretty good stream today, guys. Really, I think it's been a good one, man. It's been a really good one. Let me see. My son's going crazy out there. He's like, "What do you mean you don't like Nintendo, Dad? You better get that damn Nintendo Switch, or else I'm gonna snap. I need to play my Mario." You know, we did watch the Mario movie too, which is interesting. And I'm gonna have to. I bet you I'm gonna invest heavily in the next Nintendo console. I bet you I am, because we did just watch the Mario movie and my son loved it. I thought it was good too. I really enjoyed the Mario movie. It was a fun watch, but my son really loved it. He has Mario toys and I don't know, man. I guess I would say I would get a Switch now, but it feels a little too late. You know, I feel like in the next year and a half, we're going to have another console. I'll get that. Keep it in the living room, you know? So, all right, let me see here. Josh, I agree, man. We gotta stay in touch with our inner child. And Corey, you're saying, "Hey, boss, we saw you and took cover already." And let me see. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any. We got Zanarkand Blitzer again saying Corey Landiga and Hanzo Reza, is it Reza? We have a gentleman's agreement between MBG and Zanarkand Blitzer for MBG to pronounce my name uniquely until he plays Final Fantasy X. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Zanarkand Blitzer has deemed it so that MBG cannot properly pronounce his name until he's earned it. And I earn it by playing Final Fantasy X, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Is it Reza? Like, almost like Razor? Hanzo Reza. Or is it just straight up pronounced Razor? I don't see how it could be pronounced Razor. It ends with an A. Man, I swear I could just dedicate a whole stream to, like, I'm now going to learn to properly pronounce everybody's name. That's what the stream's going to be. But yeah, guys. So yeah, dude, it's been it is Razor, really. Okay, Hanzo Razor. That's easy enough. I would have never guessed though. I would have never guessed. Chat, tell this guy to play Final Fantasy X for the love of God. Yeah, apparently Final Fantasy IX. I think it was Jeff Grubb again coming out, and he confirmed that. Yeah, Final Fantasy IX remake is real and it's happening. So I mean, yeah, like when I hear things like that, I've never played Final Fantasy IX, but if it's getting the same type of, if it's getting the same type of care for it that Final Fantasy VII remake has gotten, then yeah, I could definitely see myself. Playing that for sure. And yeah, there was speculation that that'll be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. I could see it happening. Yeah, how is Final Fantasy 9? Is that like, I don't know, is there anybody here that likes Final Fantasy 9 better than 7? Is there anybody who likes it better than, because I know you're saying I need to play Final Fantasy X, but dude, I mean the one they're remaking is 9 apparently. So somebody's saying I won't like it. Why wouldn't I like it? Hellbound, you got to go, man. It's all good. Yeah, I'm going to be ending the stream momentarily. So I appreciate you hanging, man, and appreciate all the support, dude. So hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you, buddy. Jim Ryan in the chat saying, MBG, I'm sorry. It's okay, Jim Ryan. I understand. I know it's not easy. I know you got to deal with a lot of pressure. So I understand. You're saying it's old school? Interesting. Domingo 813. When is Mullet Bound Gamer coming back? I don't know. I've been thinking about it, and I'm not exactly sure when they're. You know when it'll come back? I'll tell you when the next. If PlayStation does another showcase this year, yeah, I'll bring Mullet Bound Gamer back. Hell yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Who knows? Maybe I'll buy another wig. A different one. I don't know though. People really love the mullet, man. People were like, dude, that look suits you, which was surprising to me, So, martial arts, you're saying missed a lot of the stream. What is it Xbox is doing? Well, I think it's more about what they haven't done, It's more about what they haven't done. And that's the whole thing, dude. So martial arts to basically, I'm glad you asked this now because this will be a good opportunity for me to basically sum up this stream. I try to do this at the end of each stream just to end on a more summarized note. There were basically two topics we talked about. One we talked about for about 90% of the stream, and the other topic we talked about for probably 10%, maybe even less than 10% of the stream. The first topic is Xbox really going to do it? And MBG got heated today, man. MBG got in his feelings again. He got in touch with his emotional side and had to make a couple things known and confuse some people once again. But essentially, to boil it down, I'm basically saying, do we really simply believe that Xbox is just going to come out of nowhere this Sunday and just deliver what it is that people like myself and many, many others have been expecting them and asking them to do for like almost a decade now? And I basically just said that I have little confidence. I really do, simply because of the way that they have handled things, even just recently. And I would like to see it. I'm hopeful. Like I'm rooting for them. I'm not rooting against them, but I just don't. I have a pretty cynical outlook towards them. That's basically what it comes down to. And I had to basically readjust my expectations going into this, because I know there are a lot of people who are not feeling cynical. I know there are a lot of people who are feeling very good, and that's fine. I'm not trying to sway anybody and say you should be cynical. I'm just speaking for myself. And that's basically what we talked about. We talked a lot about, PlayStation. We talked about a bunch of different things. Oh, here we go. Richard Rodriguez, you're saying PlayStation Lite hidden. Its official MBG is an Xbox streamer. Gasp. Yeah, I made a joke earlier. Because somebody was like, "Oh, another Xbox stream," and I was like, "Yeah, dude, I got a bunch of Xbox posters in the background now." And I feel like, I feel like some people may actually have thought that was the truth, but that would be a great troll. That'd be a great troll. I would try to make like a joke, but people know. And here we go. Domingo813, pronounce supercalifragilistic expialidocious. Damn it. I've heard this before. Supercalifragilistic oh, you know what? I did it once. Once is enough, bro. I can't. I think it was close enough. Wasn't half bad, right? Saying LOL, not bad. Can't end the stream till you say it. Hey, I tried, man. I gave it my best shot. I took my shot. Is it from Mary Poppins? Damn. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Because I was like, I knew I've heard this before. I just don't know where. But yeah, and the other topic we talked about, by the way, is we talked about PlayStation and cloud and how Sony is just not really on board with it and still believes there are quite a few technical challenges, and it's just clear that they're sticking with dedicated hardware for quite some time going forward, and the cloud will just simply be a supplementary auxiliary thing for PlayStation, which I think is good, because I think it would be a big mistake to view it as anything less than that, or anything more than that, I mean. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. We have another 3.5-hour stream. Before I head out today, I also want to let everybody know, you guys may have been noticing that Devil Shooter hasn't been able to do the timestamps. I forgot to let everybody know. Apparently, he's having some internet troubles, and he probably won't have them sorted out until sometime next week. So I apologize for that. I would try to do timestamps to replace them, but there's really no point because they're going to be absolutely horrible. Here we go. Domingo813 is just trying to torture me now. Hold on. I'm not saying that. I'm putting that in Google Translate. I don't know what that says. I could be getting ready to say something horrible, for all I know. Let me see here. Spanish rap. Hold on, wait, what? What is this? I'm very confused, bro. Where is the library? Oh, well, Google Translate says, where is the library? Damn, bro. You know what? Damn, I should have tried to. See, you could tell I'm so cynical. Like, I really thought, like, man, you're getting me to say something bad here. I should have tried to actually figure that out before I just put it in Google Translate. Yeah, I don't speak Spanish. I'm assuming it's Spanish, right? Looks like Spanish to me. Yeah, that's Spanish. Thank you, Domingo. I gotta end the stream before Domingo comes out with something else, man. MBG learning something new today. Yeah, I learn something new every stream, man. I do. But yeah, what was I saying though? I feel like I was saying something before that, but yeah, so I guess the final word here before I end the stream today is, well, obviously a huge thank you. I've been streaming. So I'm sure some people are wondering, like, MBG, are you going to stream 7 days a week? Like every day you're streaming? No, I've been streaming a lot lately. And this week I'm probably going to be streaming all 7 days up until Sunday, because Sunday is the PlayStation show. Jesus. The Xbox show. Yeah, Sunday is the PlayStation showcase, guys. Didn't you hear? It's the Xbox showcase. But going forward, I'm going to try my best to stream Monday through Friday, dedicate Saturdays as the day we do member stream, and Sundays will be, usually my day off. I know that that's weird because it's like, dude, you used to stream every Sunday, but things have changed. As you can see, things have changed. There will be occasions though where I do Sunday streams still though. So no worries there, but that's my goal. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody for your continued support. You know, I really, as I've said, I've been unsure about how this streaming thing was going to go. And I know that people want videos, and what I can say to that is you'll get videos. Just obviously the videos are not going to come out the same way they used to. They just can't. They just can't. You know, the stream is the priority, and that's because we have a really awesome community here. And I appreciate everybody who watches my videos. I guess what I'll say about my videos is even though you'll get less videos, I'm going to try to focus in my videos to where I will put videos out when there's really something worth talking about, if that makes sense. So you might get them less frequently, but you can at least rest assured that when you get them, it'll be on a good topic. You know what I mean? Rather than just me putting out, like, I feel like my last video I put out, I won't lie, I put that video out because I kind of felt like I had to. I felt like it's been, you know, it's been like a week since I put out a video, and it made me feel like, oh, I guess I should. And it didn't perform very well. And I'm not surprised. It's because it's like, dude, there's just not much to talk about, you know, and anything that is relevant to talk about, I've already talked about in the streams. So I'm going to try to balance that out. I might start trying to experiment with shorts a little bit, because the one thing I did notice is YouTube is not very good at exposing people to the streams. The streams are not very ideal for growing like the channel and getting new subscribers. I've noticed I've been fluctuating in subscribers. They've been going up, they've been going down. So I might try my hand at shorts again. I just don't know how I want to handle that. Shorts stress me out. Saying clip your streams and make a video. Yeah, I've considered doing that as well. It's just the thing that is tough about doing that is I'm so sporadic and all over the place with the topics I talk about. You know what I mean? It would be like, how would I even properly clip this? But maybe I could try that. Maybe you should stream less and make more traditional videos. I mean, that's obviously an option. I'll be real with you though. When it comes to support at this point in time, the channel is pretty much fully reliant on fan funding. You know, not entirely, but like that's why streaming is the priority, because it's a social thing, it's engaging, and it's engaging with the fans. And I could still ask for fan funding for just video content, but I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I feel like I do some of my best stuff here on the channel, some of my best content in streams. I feel like I've done a lot of great content over the years with videos, but you know, I just think that I think I just do better in just this kind of like live environment. But yeah, but again, like I'm not looking to neglect anything necessarily. I am only one person. I'm a one-man show here, and I have to be aware of, like, you know, don't want to burn myself out, don't want to spread myself too thin, but I do want to make sure that I keep my audience as happy as I possibly can. So it's a balancing act for sure. And I just hope you guys bear with me. Just know that if I go any period of time without making a video, it's because I've thought about making a video. There's just simply nothing worth making a video on quite yet. And so, yeah, I'll try my best. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. I appreciate the support. I really do. So, yeah, today I thought this was a great stream. I also just want to end it. I know I'm going on here. I know this is long-winded, but the last thing I'll say, I'm genuinely impressed with this community, with this stream, because I really thought that this stream was going to potentially struggle. I thought it was going to struggle because, as I said, there's just not a whole lot going on now, and you guys did the opposite. I think this is like the best stream we've had all week. So And that's thanks to you guys. I mean, you know, obviously I try my best to bring the energy. I try my best to have some engaging conversation with you guys, but I sincerely have to thank you, everybody who became a member, everybody who gifted memberships, everybody who donates super chats. You know, you guys are the real MVPs, and you power this channel and you power me as a content creator. And we have Zanarkand Blitzer saying, as our gentleman's agreement, unique way until Final Fantasy X HD remaster and or Final Fantasy X remake, which Square Enix will hopefully be remaking the Golden Age, Final Fantasy 7 to 10. So yeah, I mean, there is hope, Zanarkand, because it seems like if they're going to remake 9, again, I don't know why, like they're skipping over 8 and going to 9, but I guess, yeah, after 9, they would seemingly go to 10, right? For another remake. So might be am I saying testosterone levels chilled a bit now? Well, yeah, we're 3 hours and 40 minutes into the stream. Obviously, the energy levels have diminished ever so slightly, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. It really is nice, and it's genuinely very cathartic to be able to come here on the streams and have support and be in an environment where I know people are here to hear what I have to say, even if I'm going ballistic, and not even ballistic, but just, you know, I'm just being raw and I'm being real, and I'm not holding back, and I appreciate that. So yeah, Zanarkand, we'll see if they end up doing 10. I think it would be cool if they did. It'd be a fun day. I could finally pronounce your name correctly. Domingo813, you're saying, MBG, the program in part is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, that's true, man. I feel like that we got a little sacred symbols thing going there, but that's absolutely true. It is brought to you in part by you. So thank you guys. Thank you. All right, that does it. The only other thing I'm going to ask you guys to do before you head out, just hit that like button for me. Maybe we can get up to 350 likes, and I'm hoping we can do another stream tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure what the stream will be about, but I'm sure I'll think of something. I actually do have one idea. I think it would be very appropriate. So look forward to that. And yeah, that's it, guys. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Shout out to this community. You guys are amazing, and I'm looking forward to the next stream we do together. So that does it, guys. I will catch you in the next one. So until then, take care, everyone.